I forgot to turn that light on. And now crack open the beer. Go evening for beer. Starting off with do some of this. Yeah, what's the percentage on it? Yeah, 5. Yeah. We'll let that be the cruiser later. Let's start on this one. The Double Dales. Double Dales. IPA. Oh my goodness. There we go. Opened and ready to go. Double Dales, honestly, ain't that bad. Second time I tried this and pretty good. Alright, here, let's get this turned on. Do this as well. Okay. There we go. Sweet. Oh my gosh, I always got some weird shit going out there. Gotta love it. Great. Just tremendous. Nice. I could take it out of its fucking line if I can do that. Fucking damn it. It's just nice. Great. Oh, fuck. Come on. Yes. Yes. There we go. Out. How the fuck did I get this tangled up the way it did? Jesus Christ. Not gonna lie, today it's been a little bit of an aggravative day. Just a little bit. Just gotta get this fucking hair all tied up first. One at least in a tail here. There we go. Alright. Oh, you sniff the mates in there. You're smelling the mates. You want? I'll give you a little treat. I'll give you one right now. I'll give you a little bit. Oh, let you have some turkey right now. Here, have some turkey there, dog. Stand up. Stand. Good boy. There we go. Gotta make sure it works for this at least a little bit. Stand up. Paw. Stand up and paw. No. Stand up. Stand up. Oh, or jump. That works too. Patient bastard. Yeah. That's it for now. We'll get more in a minute. Gotta wait a little bit, bro. Get a bowl going, get some drinking, and get some music going. In reverse order. Gotta make sure we at least have it in reverse order. Just a little bit. There we go. Cool. Beer rage, not to be confused with wine hostility. Yes. Got it. Sweet boy, baby.
Yeah, that's a good pups.
You know, he has like, you know, he has a name, right?
You like that, don't you?
Especially when it's in sleepy mode.
Touch the spot in the middle of my back, but I can't itch.
Oh, he can get to it. He just doesn't like doing it. Literally, he'll like slowly kind of scratch the side of his leg, neck a little bit and be like, Like, it doesn't scratch hard or anything. He just is like, I don't want to stretch so far to do this. He just does this little, like, whiny thing. It's just kind of funny. You know, speaking of wine hostility, I haven't had wine in quite a while, and I've been half tempted to have a bottle. Maybe not, like, soon as in, like, you know, let's do it tomorrow or some shit, but I don't know, maybe in, like, a month or so I'll probably find a bottle. Because I'm not, like, the biggest wine aficionado, but I'm okay with it occasionally. Pretty much just like, you know, like what, you know, comes kind of usual. Red wines, I guess. Modern times. Got a fucking problem with me, bitch, back then. So you have insulted my good names, and if these actions do not cease, you'll find yourself in an unfavorable physical altercation. So without due haste, sir, please, excuse yourself. Modern times. Fuck problem with me, bitch. You better step the fuck up before someone be out here getting bussin'. It's just like, oh shit. It's like, oh damn. Honestly, low-key though, like back in the day, fucking insulting people or fucking like, yeah, just language is a little, in a lot of ways, I think better when it comes to like, you know, insulting somebody or being an asshole or smart ass or jackass or like any variation of ass. I love Shag Bag. I forgot what Paul's favorite one was, but it's now my favorite one. But I forgot the name of it. It was like something Degolian. It's a bit more of a hostile back then than people get into duels and sword fights. Yeah, the physical stuff, yeah, I'm not exactly, you know, thinking we should do all that shit, but, you know. Yeah, at least, like, the verbal altercations. I mean, like, not the duels and sword fights, but, like, the Congress and Senate fist fights that would break out. Like, I want that. Like, there's actually, unironically, some shit about that type of, like, culture back in the day that I wouldn't mind bringing back. Try Arab insults. That language always sounds angry to me. Or German. Those two languages and dialects have a very strong vibe of like, I'm angry. Das ist very angry. That is very haram. I shall kill you. That is haram. Like, both sound pretty angry. So, like, both dialects and languages tend to be pretty, like, maybe not necessarily angry, but more, like, aggressive sounding.
Probably not.
Then it turns out they're just asking how your day is. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's like, are you threatening me? And you just realize, like, hey, I'm just fucking trying to ask what your day is. It's like, come on, bro. I'm not trying to be an asshole here, bro.
Yeah, you goof off. Yeah, you goof off.
Well, he's wanting a belly rub, I could tell. I saw that leg hike up.
Yeah, you goof off. Ow, ow, ow.
He wants a belly rub more than anything. So please give me belly rub. Oh, good boy.
Yeah, that's a good poop. Yeah,
A good poop? A good poop? What?
Pooch.
I swear to God, you just said that's a good poop like twice now in a row. You just called him a turd.
Pooch.
You jackass. You called him a shit. I mean, he is a shit, but I mean, like, ugh.
No, I said.
I was not the only one that heard him say good poop like twice. Like Apparently, shoe is a major insult, Arab insult, because it means essentially you're saying someone's worth as much or more worthless than dirt. I mean, I think that's a pretty stingy insult. I mean, if anything, I kind of adopted that my own way, where I'm like, where usually I'll say something like, the dirt on my boot's worth more than your dumbass, or some shit like that. Like, I mean, if anything, I've adopted that a little bit in my own insultery, or insults that I do. Because honestly, yeah, if someone said, you're more worthless than the dirt on my boot, it's like, what? Not the word shoot, but the Arab word for it, I mean. Well, I know, like, the Arab word for it. Which I just don't know what the Arab word for it is. I just kind of take the general offense of what it means and have adopted it in my own little way. I basically adopted the insult of its meaning more so than the actual word itself. Because even if I knew what the word was, I probably wouldn't be able to get it down. Arab dialect is definitely one that's a little bit more harder for me. Just because I'm obviously more Western and it's, you know, just in dialect and language, growing up with that, obviously, so. I mean, I guess not entirely, because I can kind of get down with some of, like, that, like, Mongolian throat singing shit a little bit. Like, I can kind of, like, like, I like, it's Nal. Nal. You not. I mean, it's, I don't think I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Nal. Nal. Nail. Nail? Nal. I think it's Nal, right? I'm assuming it's Nal. It's like a or something. If I had to take a guess, at least. I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't speak any. Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, at least unlike people, like certain people on the internet, like, you know, TJ, like, at least I will attempt to try to get it right instead of being like, I just don't know. And just, like, purposely butcher it, you know, with every attempt. Because I know with, some accents of certain dialects and shit. Probably involves some throat clearing between syllables. Oh, yeah, with the Mongolian throat thing. Yeah, I could kind of do, like, a basic little, like, basically you have to go for, like, I mean, same thing with, like, you know, like, oh. It's kind of like, you know, you have to get it from, like, you know, your lower chest, basically. But also you have to, like, whistle, too. It's a little... There's a certain way, I'm almost getting it. There's a certain way to do it, and then I can only basically just do, like, a single tone. Yeah, I'll have to turn this down a little bit. I'm kind of getting it. Kind of. I mean, it takes a lot of practice to actually truly get it down, but, I mean, it's, like, I kind of got the technique a little bit. It's just I have to, like, hone it and actually practice it and legitimately fucking actually spend time honing it. But it's basically doing that, but also, like, whistling and creates, like, this harmonic a little bit. Is it actually, like, when done right, it sounds fucking really awesome. You know, like, in a great band that actually does a phenomenal job because they're from Mongolia is The Who. I would play at least one of their songs, but they're like that's a death sentence, so no. I actually think I remember Deep Fat Fried finding it on like a grease trap, I think, like a couple years back when they were talking about music. And I think it was one of their live ones, and I remember at that point I was just like, oh my god, they discovered them! Because I found out about them, I think about a year or two before they even found out, and I was just like, oh my god, thank goodness, because they're legitimately pretty awesome. Yeah, I came close to getting in an argument on Twitter, but it's too time consuming. I know me, if I gauge, I can't walk away for someone who has convinced me they're right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm in a lot of the same way, too, to a certain degree. Frankly, like, I mean, just considering, like, all the shit going on right now, and pretty much, like, how so much of the news currently is just about this fucking Uvalde shit, and honestly, I mean, for good reason, but, like, well, depending on what fucking news, I guess, is, you know, proper in their shit, but I mean, fucking, like, between, you know, like, of course, Alex Jones doing his stupid parade of bullshit, and I guess, frankly, like, you won't care, but outside of, I guess, the victims and the trans person that he claims supposedly did this, and then, you know, just seeing the, like, mainstream media fucking, like, you know, just essentially just, you know, taking more, you know, like, ad points and, you know, advertising profit revenue points and shit, just being like, oh yes, it must have been hard for you to realize this, and blah blah blah, talking to parents who they, like, not even like an hour ago found out their kid died. And it's just like, it just basically, like, I remember this one, I literally couldn't even watch it. It was on the Humorous Report video, on something totally related. In fact, we might even watch it later, and I'll show you what I mean. Hey, Zukov, what you doing? And basically, the fucking, thing was, like, you know, was this guy, you know, was telling the story about how he essentially found out, you know, his child died, and Anderson Glooper, you know, Glanderson Booper was there just fucking like, oh, it must have been hard for you to find out, you know, in that moment. And you got this dude just like at that point, just in utter shock, like, I mean, you know, with his head down, like, I mean, because what the fuck, you know? And he just kind of starts talking about her and, you know, and his kid, and just fucking, you know, like, while Anderson Cooper's, like, trying to prod fucking, like, trauma, emotional, heartstringing shit for the audience, you know, trying to get, like, oh, you know, blah, 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 and it's, like, it's, I mean, basically saying it's, like, it must have been hard, and, you know, like, I can't, you know, imagine how, like, your child must be feeling about this, so it's, like, how's your child processing this, you know, and it's, like, you probably can't handle this, huh? Can you explain how he's trying to handle that? And it's just, like, it's, like, honestly, if I was a parent, I would be like, do you fucking mind? It's, like, do you really think these are questions you need to be, like, asking right now? Like, honestly, like, I mean, I mean, frankly, like, if I was a dude, and it was my kid, like, I mean, I would have had half a mind to fucking punch him in the face, you know, continuously prodding these questions. And be like, do you fucking mind? Like, are you serious? Like, I'll talk, you know, about this shit, and, you know, answer some questions, but, like, not this shit. I mean, it's just like, what the fuck? And then finding out, like, what these fucking goddamn worthless, cowardly-ass, wannabe macho fucking degenerate pieces of shit pigs that fucking think, like, oh, you know, we're all big and macho and shit. And fucking, but as soon as there's a legitimate, like, threat where maybe a big macho guy with a gun is probably absolutely fucking necessary, they're pretty much nowhere to be found. And if anything, they're fucking pepper spraying, beating the shit out of parents and arresting them for trying to get in the way of their investigation when it's just basically parents running in to try to save their kids. And frankly, like, I mean, knowing Texas, I guarantee you some of those parents were trying to get through because they knew they were probably armed and they were willing to sacrifice their own fucking life and risk their own life potentially to not just save their own kid, but probably other kids. I mean, it's just like, at this rate, you know, like, there really has never been a good guy, bad guy gun thing, but, you know, because honestly, like, who's the good guy in these situations? Like, the cops aren't the good guy. The parents, you know, as much as they might, you know, maybe some of them might try to be, it's like, my fucking kid's in there, and I'm gonna, you know, save my kid. And if I see that shooter, you know, take a round at him too, because you ain't doing shit. It took a fucking Border Patrol agent to fucking whack the kid. It's like, are we serious? A Border Patrol agent is the one that whacked him? So Border Patrol's got more fucking balls than a goddamn average beat cop. Granted, I guess they're on horseback whipping fucking Haitians on their off time, so, you know, they probably have an extra sense of being macho because they get horses and whips and all sorts of extra shit. Do you mind? He's outside. Anyway, tweet in question was about the Texas incident. Someone quote tweeted someone else like, Would you be more brave than the cops, you coward? First off, we're into teachers and parents. So the only difference is one group had trained to deal with this kind of scenario. Guess which? Which is going to be the fucking cops. And frankly, it's just like, you know, I applaud, you know, and despite a lot of these fucking pigs, you know, trying to stop these parents, a lot of them were able to pass through anyway and get to their kids, and at least the ones that still had them alive, and get them to safety. And if, you know, by proxy, probably a bunch of other kids too. I mean, and from my understanding about Uvalde, like, it's basically like a very close-knit, small-town type of community where pretty much, yeah, like, everyone knows everybody. And honestly, knowing that the fucking cops didn't do shit, and if anything, were willing to beat down these fucking parents to save their fucking kids, it's just like, what does that say about their cops when also 40% of their town's funding goes to it? And frankly, I really hope it's a goddamn reality check for the community there, seriously. Because, like, evidently, those cops don't give a fuck about your community as much as the rest of you do. So, you know, the mass funding that your town is giving them evidently, you know, shows a misprioritization of what's going on there. A lot of it, you know, needs to start going into mental health and shit. On top of, you know, like, you know, reallocating a lot of that from law enforcement, primarily. It's like, how many of these small towns have, like, 40+% police funding budgets? I guarantee you, like, at least half of them do. More than that, probably. And there's a lot of small towns dotted everywhere in this fucking country. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that it'd be a fuckload, to be honest. I mean, like, what? Like, I'm gonna take more approximate guess. I'm gonna say, like, 65% of small towns. Because, you know, some small towns probably are too small to necessarily have one, so they probably are, you know, they have, like, the local sheriffs, or, you know, they just have, like, one or two of them more specifically patrolling their little town or some shit, or maybe it's, like, county police or state police that, you know, make the runs or some shit. But straight up, like, I mean, the ones that do, like, it has to at least be 40+%, just like this place. Because, frankly, this Uvalde massacre that happened isn't just a problem with the whole aspects of guns, it's police, too. It seems to be another fucking issue that is creeping its head, that seems to be a blighted issue in this fucking country. Why did people? Well, they couldn't do anything because they needed to draw their gun on the fleeing suspect because, yeah, I mean, yeah, like, basically fucking cops are willing to draw their guns basically for some unarmed black guy that, you know, may have, you know, potentially jacked a fucking cookie jar out of the goddamn cookie jar. It's like, uh-oh, a black person stole a cookie from a cookie jar somewhere, we better fucking shoot him. I mean, that's pretty much the equivalent. Oh, a black guy might have, you know, forged a $20 bill. Oh, this penny is actually a Monopoly penny. This black guy going to prison now, son of a bitch. Fraudulating American dollar. Goddamn commie. I swear, that's like how it's like the equivalent, at least, of what these fucking people think. Shouldn't have had fentanyl in the system when you was cowed or some shit, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's like, yeah, everyone's gun-ho about cops when it comes to that shit, you know, when it comes to that shit. When it comes to defending them left and goddamn right. He's got a toenail clipper, take him down! Yeah, while me, because, you know, I'm whitey-be-guidey, you know, it's like, frankly, even if, like, you know, I was walking around, actually it was before I went on range day, like, I went to the store, I went to a few places before I actually left, and I was wearing my vest, and my tack vest and shit. I didn't have, obviously, my magazines or my gun on me, obviously. Not that dumb. But, you know, it's like, frankly, especially what recently going on, like, you know, frankly, like, any other, you know, any motherfucker could have immediately assumed, like, what's this guy got a vest for? Why has he got this shit on? What's going on? Like, is he gonna do something? Like, frankly, there could have been easily some, you know, paranoid person of some sort, you know, that could have called it up, but frankly, because I look like a white guy, because I am, yeah, there's like this assumption of like, oh, he's probably okay. He's probably going to range or something. He's gonna either come back or going to, shooting or something like that. He's going with a buddy or whatever the fuck. Which at least I was. But if I was a black guy on doing that shit, oh my god, I guarantee you I probably would have at least had like, why are you wearing this vest, sir? Like, oh, because I'm going on a range day. I'm going with my friends, like up in the mountains, where we can find a, permissible shooting area, which is, well, what I did. Most rare occurrence in a physically fit cop. You wanna know what's funny? The ones that are actually physically fit don't really tend to be the ones that are on, like, the front lines. Because I remember on June 19th in 2020 when I was arrested, like, it was basically a bunch of more, like, beer-bellied chuckle fucks, that were, doing the rounds. But by the time I was actually, like, inside the Justice Center, where they keep a lot of, the prisoners in Multnomah County, or at least a lot of people in jail who are, like, immediately arrested, and especially in these protests there, they essentially, like, some of the dudes that were there just chilling, who weren't, like, out in the front lines doing the tear gas and all that shit, those dudes are kind of fit for some fucking reason. Like, the dudes who are fit, like, at least here in Portland, aren't usually the ones who are active, so to speak. It's like, huh? It's like they flip it around, like the weird beer-belly chuckle fucks that look like they should be doing desk duty are the ones that are, like, out on patrol, but the ones that are actually kind of fit aren't. And strange enough, at least around here, the fit ones tend to be a little bit more, like, depending, maybe local, but that just kind of very much depends.
What are we talking about? Cops?
Local PPP ones, yeah. Because honestly, a lot of the old one, like, a lot of the old guards, so to speak, were local types, and now at this point, along with the like the last retired police chief, and amongst a bunch of others that have retired in like the last 5 to 10 years, not all of them are necessarily just like absolute bastards, so to speak. Many of them are retiring in some ways just because, like, yeah, a lot of these new young bucks that come from, out of town, so to speak, that think they're all hot shit. I mean, it's just like, it's kind of been putting a bad and sour taste in my mouth, so I don't want to be a part of it, but I'm old enough to kind of retire, so I'm just going to retire. I mean, and now, it's why, especially these days, a lot of people don't really exactly look at the Portland Police Bureau with, fond praise, so to speak, because either they aren't doing enough, or they, like, are like, doing too much or some shit, depending on who you talk to, I guess. Frankly, they just do too much of the shit they shouldn't be worrying about, and do pretty much fuck all when it comes to shit they probably should be focusing on. So it's just like, really same shit, different day when it comes to a lot of corrupt police departments. At least Bureau, specifically Portland, because at least city governance in Portland's a little different. It's kind of a combination of like Euro/American-based governance system.
Oh, you can get into an AR for under $500. You can get into an AR for under $500.
What, at your store?
No, all you have to do is buy a loader and then go online and buy a kit.
I know this.
Really?
You're gonna be fed, cat.
He already got fed.
Oh, well, he probably wants outside then. Chief was probably like, we're gonna put you fat cops on streets patrol, you live past 60. Yeah, seriously, give him at least some exercise. Honestly, like, one thing that should happen is, like, there should at least be, like, a mandatory, like, every 6 months, like, physical, like, training course thing. It's like, to keep, fucking people fit if they're gonna be a cop. And also, there really needs to be a strict regimen for training and recruitment when it comes to, like, this type of shit. So, like, stupid dumb fuck, pigs that literally are too cowardly to go into a school to stop a shooter. Well, an hour after him, where some Border Patrol agent was the one that, took the shot and fucking, like, potentially saved, a couple more lives.
Oh, it's up to 21 now.
Oh, I already know. And frankly, some of the shit that I've heard was even fucking important, because there's a lot of parents who are trying to get into the fucking school to save the kids, and a lot of cops didn't not only refuse to let them go through, but some parents got detained and cuffed and fucking pepper sprayed and shit because they were like interfering with an investigation, even though these like cops were dead ass just sitting around basically letting a 18-year-old boy just, shoot, fucking kids left and right, basically. For at least, like, 45 minutes to a fucking hour. It's just like, I mean, it's like, and honestly, it's a wonder why people legit, get pissed off and very critical about cops at this rate. It's like, because if this is like, the results that they're producing and shit, like, what the fuck? I mean, not just like, a lot of these different, singularized cases, in every city and shit that, a lot of these, police departments have been doing shit, but when it comes to even these most severe fucking cases, I remember like in the Parkland one, they had like a local police cop that was at a cop that was at the school, like one that is just chilling at the school basically on the grounds. And when that shooting happened, that guy literally ran away. He was like, oh shit, let me run away and just hope reinforcements to show up, which he did, but like well after there was a bunch of fucking kills that were racked up. It's just like, I mean, there would have probably been maybe 1 or 2 or 3, if that, officer went, to immediately to find out, where the shots came from and not only assess, but deal with the fucking suspect in the situation. It's like, aren't they supposed, like, they all act like they're big macho motherfuckers, but when it comes to actually needing that macho-ness, it's like, oh shit, I hear bullets, let me run. It's like, aren't they supposed to be, like, trying to risk their lives to save the community? Like, that's at least a part of their job. It's not supposed to be like, oh, we don't care about their lives. I mean, but, shouldn't it be the idea? It's like, hey, if someone's, like, killing people of the community and shit, shouldn't there, isn't it a, job of the officer to get in the way of that threat? Thus putting themselves in that threat's way. It's just like, what the fuck? Yeah, Bandit needs outside. See, I could hear him really being incessantly bitchy. I mean, I am, honestly, but I got every fucking reason to, because pretty much, like, so much of the news is about this shit that, I mean, evidently I don't, I thought I had all I had to say, like, a couple streams back, but evidently not. And I hate these do-nothing shit-lib motherfuckers and, like, lefties that, think that just voting harder or just trying to get, like, Biden do something is actually gonna get, a lick of a goddamn fuck, done anywhere or anything. It's just like, and leave it to, like, Beto to actually, like, fucking have, like, basically the only them to have a spine on this thing, at least, confronting Abbott, saying, hey, why aren't you fucking doing some shit? Like, this happened under your tenure as governor. You have the power to, put legislation forth that could prevent things like this, or at least minimize them, and yet here you are not doing shit. I mean, they make things worse by, like, pass legislation where you don't need to get a background check to get a gun. It's like, that's like, I mean, even for me as a gun dude, it's like, I mean, there should at least be some fucking background checks in some sort of a process, to make sure that's, like, some dude like the Uvalde shooter, or, the Buffalo dude, like, all these, motherfuckers, at least have a very harder way of trying to get this shit. It's just like, huh? It's like, it's like, I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm looking at, like, a corporate shitbag and being like, damn, at least he's at least got a spine on this fucking thing, and it's like, what the fuck? He's not even doing anything yet, necessarily, because I guess he's running for governor in Texas right now, so he really can't yet. But he's saying a lot of bluster, and if he happens to win in Texas and be governor there, he better be fucking doing something. Because if he does all this fucking talk and blunder and doesn't do a fucking thing either, oh my god, it's
gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, already, because it's already kind of looking like that as it is. And, I mean, considering that you have literally a party that just would not do is not doing a lick of a fucking thing, and the other one is pretty much have the Supreme Court to be able to rely on getting some of their shit passed through and done. It's just like, I mean, I mean, it's a wonder why so many people are just disenfranchised to their system and don't fucking believe in it, because what is there to believe in its system at this rate? So many of the political people I follow and shit pretty much think that direct action and at least eschewing the electoral aspect of things is the way to go. And it is, honestly. I mean, like local elections and stuff like that definitely, play more of a major role because it has more of a direct impact. But national level, though, I mean, it's kind of a joke. I mean, honestly, calling it a joke is an insult to jokes. Someone else, by the way, was wait, what? There was a segment of population whose eyes the police continue on. I remember hearing on. I think it was Flash Friday. Still a Flash Friday at the point where a cop shot a minor girl while trying to get someone else, who, by the way, was only using a bike chain as a weapon. And someone in chat was like, context, and got you to fuck out. And good thing too. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I remember that. Where it's like, oh, what's the context of this person getting shot? It's like, I don't know, there's quite literally a fucking video of it.
Well, I guess we have no hot water either. I guess we have no hot water either.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
Wait, what about the hot water?
We have none.
Oh, well, I'm gonna figure that shit out, so, but either way.
It would be nice to take a shower every now and then.
Yes.
Especially when it's getting hotter.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I don't want to smell like a fucking...
That thing is gonna happen around Christmas too, which only makes it a lot more depressing in my opinion. Well,
see,
yeah.
the one that really brought me to the my girlfriend actually brought me to the realization of this is that we don't want to have kids because of this shit.
I definitely don't blame anybody, for not, at least in this country, for not wanting to have kids and shit. If
but
like,
this also brings back the realization of Sandy Hook.
Yeah, I mean, it goes even farther back than that.
But it also brings farther back
to instances like Columbine and
Columbine.
shit. Yeah. And also, I found out, I remember reading, I think probably a year ago, but there's actually a school shooting that happened back in like the mid-70s, I think. And it was actually done by a girl that basically decided, and there was some news article that actually, I think, interviewed her from prison, obviously, but she was...
Well, the one thing that really fucked up is that he actually posted something on Facebook that he was gonna kill his grandmother.
Oh, the Uvalde? Yeah. I mean, because there was like 100 different warning signs leading up to this shit. Like,
yeah, and
he was basically a major social outcast, but despite that, there were some people that, looked at him alright, and, didn't necessarily look at him as, like, some weirdo or whatever.
Some fucking threat.
Yeah. And and the people that at least, did interact with him noticed that there was a sudden change at some point, and he would do things like cut his face and do other shit, start growing his hair out very long, which, it's like, whatever. I don't think growing your hair out really means that, at risk or some shit, but, I mean, but considering him being obviously probably more crew cut, and shit, probably a very drastic change.
Long hair,
yeah. It's definitely more of a drastic type of change and shit, so it's just like, like there was just a lot of fucking warning signs, and then the ability to get, at 18, the weapons that fucking easily with all these different warning signs and red flags. I mean, like, that's why at least having some, like, more rigid type of background check is, at least, more necessary, to try to look out for shit like that. Because, I mean, it doesn't necessarily prevent, people like you or me from getting anything, ourselves, but it will...
They need to make it more strict.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be stupid to think of it, but also raising the rifle age to 20, not to 18.
Yeah, I think also, like, having age limits, is not a bad thing either.
Well, 21 is fucking pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, we already do it for handguns and shit.
Yeah, why don't we just do it for rifles?
Or, honestly, just weapons across the board, like, until you're 21, because if you can't buy alcohol till 21 and shit, you might as well just do it for that too, or something. I mean, like, at least make it so it's a lot more harder, especially for someone who's younger, who would be more liable to, hit a school or some shit.
Or, this is kind of funny because I was talking to my buddy about it. His concealed carry in this state, you have to go through a gun safety class to be able to get concealed and carried.
Yeah. And
it's more along the lines of, if you want to own a rifle, you should literally go through a fucking gun safety course.
Yeah, like, you know, even
to be able to purchase a rifle, but the people that are over the age of buying a rifle don't have to go through a gun class to be able to pick up a rifle.
Yeah.
So like me and you, we don't have to go through a gun class to be able to purchase a rifle.
Right, yeah.
If you're 18 and you're trying to buy a rifle, you should go to a gun
Yeah,
class.
I mean, honestly, I think it should at least, you know, maybe some written test of, like, you know, gun safety and, like, you know, basic weapon safety and shit like that.
Yeah.
There should at least be, like, some form of a test to ensure that you're responsible and know your, the safety, you know, around having a firearm and shit. I mean, there should at least be, you know, like, some basic thing. And, you know, maybe, like, every couple years or something like that, you know, go through, you know, basic little, like, you know, like training, you know, so yeah, you know, like basic, you know, type of thing like that, where it's like, hey, you know, you're still able to, like, you know, properly, you know, handle your shit and stuff like that, and mentally also still handling your shit as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like the when you go through army training, you have to go through a psych evaluation.
Yeah.
To make sure you are not clinically psycho.
Right. Yeah. Or prone to, you know...
Or prone to being...
Yeah, exactly. Private Pile and FM, you know, Full Metal Jacket, basically.
Yeah!
Yeah. 7.62 millimeter Full Metal Jacket. I think that is... Oh, I already read that part. But yeah, I mean, it's just like pretty much the same shit every day with just having fucking shit, honestly.
Can I help you? Little one.
Little. Here,
Can I help you? I do see you. Yes, I do. Go backwards. No! Quit sniffing me. Reincarnated terrorist. Ball of cocaine. So Daddy came outside and saw me sitting on the porch.
join that new chair.
I love that chair, dude. That chair's fucking amazing.
It looks pretty dope.
Even though it's 2 inches off the ground.
As long as you're not in like a very wet, muddy old spot, you know.
Yeah. Because
if so, then your ass is gonna get all nice and juicy.
Dude, that chair was $29 and I paid $11 for it.
Man, I'm gonna have to like start getting you some cash and be like, yo, I was at your store and I saw someone's a little spending for me, but could you hook me up? Actually, there is a couple things I've been thinking about, because I want to get like a radio set so I can have one on my thing. So if like, you know, if me and my friends go camping and we go to a camping spot that's, you know, viable for shooting or something, I can bring my thing. And then, you know, be like, hey, you know, someone be at camp, I have a radio. If they need me, I'll just have, you know, my radio. So I'll be off, you know, hiking this way like a mile or so, you know. Stagnant wages, unaffordable housing, master and declining ecosystem. Why aren't people having kids? It's some weak, pushy libs. Not even a week later. These liberals are dangerous.
It's just more along the lines that they need to have kind of stricter guidelines, but I'm also realizing the fact of the reason they fucking don't do that is because they don't want to have to fucking deal with the bullshit.
Yeah, because there's also a lot of people who basically think that any form of, like, even the smallest of, like, gun legislation, whether it's, like, you know, maybe having more rigid background checks, or even as things that even I think are a little dumb as, like, mag capacity bans and shit. They're like, oh my god, they're trying to take everything!
Fuck them.
Yeah, they're just kind of dumb.
The thing that I'm looking at is, look at the age limit that shooters have started at. What is the age limit they start at when they start okay.
At least these last two, I think both of them were 18.
Starting from Columbine to now, what is the age limit? 18.
About. I mean, it varies, from,
18 to 25.
About, yeah. 18 to about 25 about.
If I'm wrong on some of that...
There's like some, like there's definitely like a few, like the Vegas shooting that was like an older guy and shit, but...
Vegas shooting was fucking stupid. He was in a goddamn fucking hotel.
Yeah, and honestly, there's still, like, I personally think there's some very sus shit about that, honestly.
The funny thing is when you're watching the fucking video, no muzzle flash.
Yeah, he had, like, some sort of flash hider.
He had a suppressor. Suppressor hides flash.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up thing.
And also, they, like, in the weird bump stock ban thing, too, which also, I think all of his weapons didn't have any. He was just that much of a good fucking shot. There's some people that...
You can do that. It's not hard.
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube, Jaeger Z99, I think his name is, or 299, something like that. He's a guy that has basically a bunch of YouTube short videos that, with some AKs and stuff, all decked the fuck out. But, like, he doesn't have automatic AKs. They're all single auto, semi-automatic. But his trigger finger, if you watch it, it is like, it's like bum fucking same.
You know how they do that, right?
I mean, they probably changed the trigger out to be more sensitive, but also at the same time, he's like, I mean, it's like...
It's a 1 pound trigger set.
Yeah, but also, like, he's doing it even faster than me doing this. Like, he goes, it's like his dexterity is, like, insane. Like, he basically, like, he spawned with a dexterity all just maxed to 10.
You have to realize, when you're pulling your trigger on yours, you have to pull up farther.
It's about like
a heavy trigger.
I think it's about like 3-something pounds. I think about.
You can go shorter, but it's.
Well, I know if I bump fire it, I've tried bump firing with the Bulgarian mags that I had, and it not only does the feed very nice and slick with those, but it actually does kind of mimic an actual legit automatic fire, because I was able to go like like pretty good like rapid fire with like 3 or 4 rounds before there was just a very tiny case injector issue where the casing got kind of stuck, but that was it.
I mean, you're not supposed to fucking rapid fire though. You're supposed to.
Well, yeah,
it's more clinker. It's not a fucking. Oh, I'm gonna unload a fucking clip. No.
Well, I mean, I've seen some videos of people bump firing that thing and with their own and like going off pretty good with it. So I mean, if I decked it out and upgraded it over time and shit, it could. Like, there's even, like, a case where some people will say that civilian-grade weapons can even be better than military-grade. And, honestly, like, I can see it. Yeah. Which is what I kind of find funny when people talk about, we need to ban military-grade weapons. It's like, I mean, I've followed enough gun channels to know that, like, sometimes civilian-grade is dead-ass even fucking superior to military-grade. So that, even then, that wouldn't do shit.
It's been like that for years.
Yeah, like, because, honestly, military-grade is meant to have quantity... It's quantity over quality, basically, in a lot of ways.
It's durability.
Durability, yeah. I mean, it's trying to balance those three. It's like you want to have a mass quantity of your rifles that are very durable, that are at least, decent quality, so, troops don't have fucking problems with it, but can at least last long, and there's enough parts for them to replace it if need be.
Yeah.
There's a trifecta balance with it.
Well, they're all interchangeable, too.
Why are they called? Because they're meant to be for the military? Well, yeah. But they don't necessarily give them the most, like, at least when it comes to just a grunt, they don't give them the most absolute fanciest of things. Like, I've seen some civilian-grade, like, AR-15s that straight up look like spec op shit. And even then, it makes some spec op kits look like, kind of, like, basic in some ways. You're thinking of mil-spec? Yeah. I just double realized it's payday. Yeah. Which, actually, speaking of which, I'm a little mildly PO'd because I was still partially misinformed when it comes to the wage thing. Now, the wage increases are for this work week. So that wage increase is not until this coming paycheck, not the one I just had. So it's like, oh my fucking god, I'm sick of fucking waiting. And I swear to absolute fucking Christ and whatever goddamn motherfucking God exists out there, I'm going to, like, organize a fucking walkout, dead ass, with a bunch of people, or as many as I fucking can, if we don't get something, like, cause I swear to fuck. They still have increased the wage. Well, they did for this work week, going forwards. That's what, it's implemented for this week, which means it's next paycheck I'm getting it, which is, I'm sick of waiting. Really, honestly, my pissed offness of that is because this is supposed to have been, like, done a month ago. Like, honestly, I think probably, like, a little over a month ago. And here we are still. People also associate fully automatic weapons with the military. Yeah. And honestly, that's just mainly a difference in the firing mechanism, specifically when it comes to the receiver. The difference with civilian versus military on that is civilians, grade 1s, just basically take out the automatic portion of the firing mechanism. Which is either adding a part or just simply taking a part out. Or just extending a part so it blocks another part from making it automatic. What are you doing? Why are you just like chewing on wood right now? Why are you doing that? It's not necessarily in the non-military, right? Yeah. Baby. Here, wanna watch Ted Cruz be a pussy? I'm seeing, I actually seen some of this in various different YouTube clips, but I definitely gotta see this. You need to be able to kill a lot of people at once in a military operation. Well, yeah. Which is why also there's a lot of weapons and actually a lot of platforms at this point that are actually kind of universalized for things like this, where basically they have an ability to also operate as like a light machine gun, so they could do suppressive fire rolls. Because also certain things like LMGs and HMGs and stuff like that, I mean, at least when it comes to like a machine gun roll specifically, at least in a military operation, they're not necessarily there to like have a fucking, box mag on the side of their like HMG or some shit to, try to kill as many as possible. It's more so of like suppressing fire type of tactics. On top of, if someone's stupid enough to poke their head out, then yeah, they're probably going to get, catch one, but, it's like, depending on the weapon, they all got like their very specific role, especially in a very militarized operation. But I mean, when it comes down to like being a fucking civilian, like, I mean, when it just comes to the accessibility of shit, I mean, like, even, like me and my roommate are both definitely, some program type of people and shit, but both of us agree that there needs to be some form of like fucking restrictions on this shit. Because the accessibility, for people like this to just continuously, do a slaughter, whether it's like because of, of their mental health issues, or due to the fact that, they're, like some sort of political fucking, radicals so much to the point that they think like the Great Replacement theory is a thing and they want to enact their fucking neo-Nazi martyrdom and shit, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it shouldn't matter. It's like there needs to be more strictness when it comes to like figuring out what fucking red flags are there for people. Because there's a lot of people out there that fucking do. I mean, fuck, when I was picking mine up, like, when I first got mine, like, there was a dude that was, like, happened to just be listening to that I thought was a fucking red flag just based on what he was talking about. Like, yeah, we ought to have vigilantes, come around this fucking town and fucking, like, just like clean things up a little bit and shit and blah 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 and deal with the crime and stuff, and it's just like, what? So like, that's a fucking red flag if I've heard one. And he's talking about how he wants to have a legal concealed weapon for himself, and it's just like, I wonder what you want to do with that. It's just like, yeah, curious me would be curious indeed. Well, I just want to have one just to, have fun with, just with my friends and, just to have and stuff, like, maybe some point, maybe join a marksman club or some shit, but, like, I'm not looking to fucking, do some weird or crazy shit with it. Because, honestly, it's just like, why? like, I mean, there's plenty of, like, I can definitely see, you know, so many people with, you know, like, that, you know, look at, you know, this entire, you know, shit and want to enact it out, you know, on, you know, society and, you know, in this type of way, but it's like, it ain't it, chief. And frankly, it just kind of shows, you know, like, how far our system is degraded. Because, you know, like, the biggest, you know, like, the first major mass shooting, you know, for schools back in 99 with Columbine, and it's just only gotten, you know, worse from there. Not just with shootings, mass shootings outside of schools and otherwise, but fucking, you know, just social-economically, the status of, you know, like, how the working classes, you know, been, you know, when it comes to, you know, wealth income inequality, you know, the access and quality healthcare, infrastructure, all of these things just, you know, have been slowly going down, 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 down. While certain things like mass shootings and, you know, suicides, overdoses, all this type of shit, homelessness just keeps going up and up and up. And why is that? And people keep getting more fucking pissed off and then, you know, get more disenfranchised into the entire system. And and everyone in the establishment, a lot of shibboleths be like, why are people so pissed off? It's like, for fuck's sake, look around. Shit's like degrading. Like, in what? We're supposed to just, like, vote harder. Nancy Pelosi says we need to vote harder, guys. It's like, give me a fucking break. Like, at this rate, it just ain't gonna fucking do it. And I still honestly can't fathom that Beto O'Rourke is the only one with a goddamn fucking backbone, at least when it comes to this specific type of shit that's going on right now. Like, at least when it comes to the news cycle at this rate. When it comes to this, you know, these fucking shootings. And not just with Uvalde. Let's not forget that fucking Buffalo terrorist attack happened just literally not even a week ago, like, before this shit happened. He's not. I mean, it seems like it. He's the only one that actually is willing to go to Greg Abbott's face at an NRA conference. The rest of them just want to tweet and just, you know, virtue signal how we all have to fucking pray and get our shit together and all that shit. Castro's germane a federal investigation. Castro? Oh, Julian Castro? So he has at least another guy. So there's two. So there's specifically two that are fucking, you know, at least got something that's worth a fuck of a backbone. Well, maybe then, you know, at least, you know, for O'Rourke, I can kind of get why he can't do stuff because he's running for governor. Like, I expect him to do shit if he wins. That's just what I expect out of him. But with Castro, I don't know what position he's in right now, but if he's in a position to maybe, you know, not, Joaquin Castro? I actually have not heard of that person, so I don't know who that is. I couldn't tell you, Joaquin Castro? Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't, I actually don't know who that is, so I couldn't tell you much about that person. I can't tell you if they're a DNC corporatist type or a progressive type. I just don't know who that is. I think of Castro and think of Julian Castro back in 2020 in the Democratic primaries. Just one of the different corporate stuff suit nobodies that just kind of was there. Absolutely. It sounds like some gun nuts macho fans. Wait, I was reading some other comments. Went back because I know I kind of missed a few. Back. Oh, radical disability. I didn't mean to overlook you. It was off in a rant. He's a Democrat in the House from Texas. Okay, well, at least he's, you know... Well, I mean... Hey, Zukoff. Well, I mean, I'm guessing in the House of Congress, well, couldn't he work with different, you know, federal agents within, like, the FBI? Couldn't he just, like, do that on his own? I don't know necessarily, like, what power the House does, you know, or has when it comes to, like, you know, having the FBI help investigate something for them or some shit. You know, but, I mean, if so, I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't be able to do that. But either way, at least I'm sure he's trying to, well, yeah, I mean, at the very least, I mean, he's at least, at least there's two that at least have something that's worth a fucking backbone. One's at least, confronting these motherfuckers to their face, and the other one's demanding some investigation on the house. Justice for the families. Yeah. Unlike these other ones who'd rather just, we all get together and pray and have, thoughts and prayers and, demand that America somehow gets it back. I'm like fucking was so disgusted when Biden fled. Like, where's our backbones? Like, where's your fucking that shit's, oh my god. I'm just a little inebriated, so I'm willing to pop the fuck up, but I'm gonna keep it, because Jesus Christ, that shit made me just fucking like, ugh. Where's our backbone? It's like, where's your backbone, motherfucker? Like, you're the one who has the power to do shit. It's like, ugh. So much hope out of that motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Making us feel better. Making me feel better. Yep, things are gonna get done under his fucking watch. Oh my god. Where's our backbone? It's like, where's yours, Joe? What, you're leaving to Scranton, Joe? Because evidently you lost it somewhere. Did you lose it in a retire home, Joe? Why didn't it go in for a minute? Threaten parents with tasers after they went in there. Some cops went in there to save their own kids. Deleted police audio. Deleted police audio? Oh my god. Wow. That says something. What the fuck were those cops saying? Especially when they were not only did they threaten parents with tasers, they pepper sprayed them and handcuffed a couple of them. Just adding trauma to these fucking parents, by the way. While the same motherfuckers that lick their goddamn fucking boots will cry about how they're so fucking, in favor of making sure that we're for families and we want the children to be safe, blah, 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 blah. Fucking death cult motherfuckers. Cowards. They're more than fucking cowards, frankly. Man, the cops on duty that fucking day that showed up on scene, the things that I would... I'm just gonna shut up. So let's just put it that way. Actually, I was watching a music, like a fan-made music video of this, Nailbomb's song "World of Shit," and it actually was a lot of it was in the 2014 like Ukrainian protests and shit that happened at like Liberty Square and stuff. But there was two little bits and two little scenes that were used where a few people were chucking some Molotovs and of course, the fucking pig police, and shit that happened to be on scene. And why are you chewing on wood, you weirdo? You know what? Whatever, it's wood. Alright, it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, but it's just like the Orange Revolution. Yeah, the Orange Revolution. Yeah, there was a few scenes of, a lot of people chucking some Molotovs, and there was some good footage of a couple of those fucking, bacon bits, getting burnt up pretty good. I feel like I would be able to show it, but, because honestly, there wasn't, like, age restrictionary bullshit when I fucking was watching it. There is actually one fan-made music video that I found of the same song that has, like, 5 content warning signs on it. In fact, I'll even prove it to you. I'm not even kidding. It's actually this one right here, which has, like, I think a bunch of, like, North Korean army troops or whatever the fuck. It has 1, 2... Oh, only 2 this time. Usually it gives me like 4 or 5. But there's actually quite a lot of reasons as to why. Like, I'm not actually, yeah. Oh, here's the one I'm talking about. Actually, it's a pretty intense fucking video. Cops here act very much like fucking American cops. Reminds me of America right there. Someone made a SpongeBob meme about where it showed normal SpongeBob. Cops when they see a mass shooter. At the end, what's above SpongeBob? Cops when they see an unarmed black person. Yeah, basically. Or just people that get a little too riled up at the status quo. And then they act like this. Well, I've had my fair share. Not like that, though. I've seen that shit.
Just be glad we don't have Eastern European cops, because they will literally just, I mean, frankly, I mean, American cops will do that, but like in rats and shit, they're more likely to detain you and probably beat the fuck out of you in your jail cell later. In Europe, they will just fucking beat the fuck out of you over there. Just face up. Stopping Republicans versus stopping Bernie. Yeah, because it's the same shit. It's a bunch of shit. This is shit. Hate is reality. Socks Ultra just fucking day. I think this album was released in like the late 90s. Early 2000s actually, maybe. Probably like 03 or something. I recognize a lot of the footage definitely being Orange Revolutions. I think a few of them are... That's what I was talking about earlier. There's more to that. I think some of this is also in Russia too, at the time. Oh goddamn, that tastes like juice. I need to be careful with that. These cops basically just literally held these people up here just to beat them. Right there. I see Portland cops do the same shit, by the way. What is it? The Orange Revolutions burn bacon, bitch. Anyway, this is the Orange Revolution in 2014 in Ukraine. The song is a little bit more expansive in theme, but I mean, whether it's this shit, put anything, know the drink, Cider Boys. Well, elaborate a little bit. Here, strawberry. I think there's another one that comes up here in like 20 seconds too. Motherfuckers. I hope they got some permanent scars out of those. Oh, I hope they got some permanent scars. Oh man, they can't even get themselves extinguished. Good. Anyway, we'll just like imagine. Yeah, never mind. We won't say further. I really can't. I have to shut up very extensively. Besides just laugh, because I don't want to like risk it too hard. Very hot. They match. Wait, what is this? Yeah, they were pretty hot indeed. Oh, look at these cute little babies. Oh, this is a perfect little thing to just warm our little hearts up after all that fun stuff. After Edge. We get some cuteness and adorableness after some edginess. Oh, so cute. Oh, that's so adorable. So what's going on here? Choose a recluse. Horny ghost. Text all their exes. Post live vids of them playing guitar. Okay, that specific one right there is a tiny call out. What the fuck? Starve for attention. Red wine for breakfast. Okay, only one of those apply to me. Purple William. High all the time. Surviving on a diet of gummy bears. Trippy Insta filters. Slowly forgetting how to talk to people. Wow, that one is a strong call out. The Sloppy Wizard. really loving not grooming themselves, making their own questionable kombucha or some shit. CVS receipts as bookmarks. Anxiety. Slimy dark. Absolutely not getting dressed. Eating literal garbage. Completely done with everyone's bullshit. Always kind of damp, questionable cough. Slimy light. Coming out of a depressive episode. First in line to help you with seriously anything. Can't remember when they last showered. Disney Plus. Boss lady woke up like this. Taking this time to work on himself. Unnervingly calm and collected. A whole lot of secret crying. Outside of the final one, a whole lot of secret crying, I feel like Boss Lady actually kind of applies to me a little bit. Like, low-key, I feel like I'm kind of hella called out with that one. So far, Boss Lady and Purple William are the ones I relate to the most. The Grumps, let's see what we got going on here. Utter rage at everyone who isn't taking this seriously. Has not slept this whole time. Secret softy, but only for dogs. Eye twitch. Oh, fuck! That one is a call-out. That is a fucking call-out. Oh, fuck. I mean, every now and then I will have some eye twitch moments where I'm just like, what the like, I mean, oh my god, that one might be me. Hanky. Broke as fuck. Oh man, this is calling me out too. What? God damn it. Coming out with amazing new coping methods. Cuts their own hair. Oh no! This is me! Screams into the void. No! Oh man! Another one! Fuck! Lonely bot. Watching whole movies all day. Stares blankly into the distance a lot. Damn. Okay, Cupid date over video call. Houseplants. Fuck. Okay. Honestly, you know what? These two down here are really the ones that really... Okay, you cut your own hair? Yes. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. Like, with my side, I trim this shit myself. Yes. Like, I mean, I let my hair grow out, and every now and then I'll, like, trim it occasionally. Maybe, like, myself, because it's, yeah, cheap. But... yeah, like, especially this shit, yeah. Get up your game, bro. I ain't spending fucking, like, $30, you know, to just get, like, a light trim. I ain't, you know, fuck that. I'll do my own fade. My shit's good enough. You know what? God damn, dude. I'm the grumpy hanky, dude. I'm hanky with the grumps. Really? I'm just hanky with the grumps. Doesn't cost too much. I mean, man, I ain't going that shit. Anyway, I saw something about Clack County. This has interest. Oh, fuck. Now you got something about doggos? Hold on. I'm seeing doggos. Comfort dogs have been deployed to Uvalde, Texas from far and near. Oh! Oh my god, I would literally go to Uvalde just to bring Zukov at this point. I'll be like, here, kids, let Zukov love you because he's the sweetest boy. He's the sweetest of boys, and all you have to do is give him a treat, and he will love on you forever. He might jump on you a little bit, but he's gonna love you forever. Aw. Sweet little puppies. Oregon ballot fiasco spotlights, Clerks. Where was it? Clerks, troubled 20-year run. Is this Sherry Hall, this fucking dumb cunt? Voters in Oregon County where a ballot printing error has delayed primary results for nearly 2 weeks has elected the same county clerk 5 times in the past 20 years despite missteps that have impacted 2 previous elections and to cost taxpayers at least hundreds of that. Yeah, thank you, you worthless fucking cunts! And the fucking dumb fucks that keep voting for a bitch ass! Opponents that repeatedly tried to unseat Clackamas County Clerk Sherry Hall, who have first elected in 2002. Oh my god, why did... She's been there almost about... Like, she's been there since I was a wee little lad. Following her election errors in 2004, 2010, and 11... and the state vote tampering investigation in 2012. Fuck this cunt. I did not know that shit. I'm not even kidding. What? This goes farther than this shit? Fuck this cunt. This bitch has been like in this fucking shit for this long and has had problems incessantly all this fucking time, and people are just God, fuck this county, man. Bunch of dumb yokel motherfuckers. Ugh. And I live in this county, by the way, and it sucks. Like, the sheriffs suck. A lot of the fucking, motherfuckers in this place suck. Like, the only thing that's actually worth a shit is the place I live in. Because it's, like, literally, like, not only the most progressive place in the county, but probably in Oregon by that metric. It's just like, ugh, I'm just glad I live in that specific little bubble. Jesus Christ, man, this place just, oh my god, this like fucking wretched cunt has just been that, I can't believe she's been in that charge that long. Multnomah? No, Clackamas. This is Clackamas right here. We have to deal with this dumb bitch, Sherry Hall. And oh my god, I didn't realize how wretched she truly was. I knew she was kind of bad. Oh my god, I didn't realize how much of a fucking wretched cunt she truly was. Like, oh my god. Like, I knew she was kind of a right-wing nutball, a Trumper, and all this shit, but holy fuck, it goes far. Dude, it goes back, man. What the fuck? I did not know this about her. Holy shit. Like, this parasite has been just, like, growing and festering, for, like, 20 fucking plus years now or some shit? Are we serious? Oh my fucking god. Ugh. Okay, outside of, like, Mark Gamba getting more power and shit in this fucking state, like, this is now one of my fucking priorities, getting this bitch out of fucking whatever position she's in. Ugh. What a wretch. Oh my, ugh. Home makes $112,600 a year. Oh, so you get to make triple K digit fucking salaries being a fucking corrupt bitch. Than most crapple counties in the state. I mean, fair enough. Like, honestly, Clackamas County isn't really that bad. It's just really, honestly, the politics of Clackamas County. Like, the people of Clackamas County, some of the places, some of the towns, like, some of the, environment around here, it's actually fucking dope. Like, a lot of people are chill. A lot of people are great here. I mean, there's a lot of cool things about the county. Like, dead ass. But oh my fucking god, like, is some of the politics here just garbage as fuck. The law enforcement is garbage as fuck because the sheriffs, dead ass, not even a mile away from me, there was video of fucking sheriffs literally beating the utter shit, like, going fucking baton, just like the video of the World of Shit thing that we were watching earlier, of fucking, like, just beating the fuck out of some black dude, just, like, with batons and all, just pummeling and probably cracking his skull and making the dude, like, mentally stunted in some way, likely. Like, dead ass. And the only reason why it got even brought up in some local Portland, like, attention and some shit was because somebody driving by while the light turned green while they were turning happened to just fucking, put their fucking, phone on to record it. And, of course, nothing came of it, though. The fucking sheriffs, the investigator were like, oh yeah, the person was, resisting arrest and blah, blah, blah. Like, they made up some goddamn excuse and nothing happened of it. It's just literally a few dumbasses fucking it up, Tootsie, Hall, Schrader, whoever the fuck the sheriff is. Yeah, which runs the fucking entire department and shit, which enables a lot of there's been a couple of sheriffs have literally told a bunch of Proud Boys when the wildfires are going on how to get away with fucking murdering people. It's like, hey, here's legally how you can shoot people on the street and shit if you think they're Antifa starting fires. A fucking sheriff telling fucking Proud Boys this shit. Like, there's fucking Nazis in this goddamn fucking sheriff in this county and shit, and it's just like, yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of progressivism and leftism and shit, especially where I live, but goddamn, there's straight up fucking Nazis that, are running amok around here and shit. Dead fucking ass. And the sheriffs are no fucking exception, because they've literally collaborated. Like I said, there was audio leaks of a sheriff literally telling how to legally murder fucking people over this shit. Back when those wildfires are going on. And when that was going on, every fucking day, I was watching some Proud Boy, fascist, Nazi, faggot motherfuckers driving their fucking big ass trucks with their motherfucking flags and shit, you know, flexing and shit with their guns in the back of their fucking truck and shit, intimidating my fucking town, the entire fucking county, over because of fake news bullshit that Antifa was starting fires. Fuck these fascists, fuck these Nazis, and fuck the sheriffs that, you know, allowed them to be enabled to try to shoot and kill people, which luckily they never fucking did. And the audacity that, like, oh, you know, the Proud Boys and this whole Great Replacement and all this shit, it's just you know, it's not Nazi, it's not fascistic, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it is. And these people are dead ass a motherfucking threat. It's just like, I mean, and to see them driving around my fucking town every fucking day like that and shit scared the shit out of me. Dead ass. Like, seriously, like, I mean, and because the idea of, like, oh, some Antifa burned GD. There's literally no evidence of that, and there was even other police departments fucking bringing that shit up. And even then, you know, it's just like they thought they were, like, collaborating with Antifa, or fucking, you know, it was just Antifa spitting fake news or whatever, some shit. It's just like, it's like, goodness fucking gracious. My God. And now they're even more so on the rise with a literal, like, modern-day Buchanan. Great. It's like, goodness. It's just like, yeah, great. What a country. Best Just Game policies adopted even approachably Sorry counties around the Portland area metro area. The rest stays meh. I mean, like I said, I guess I'm glad I just kind of live in an area that, you know, happens to at least be pretty close to it. But I just don't think, you know, it takes, you know, that much to convince people of, like, what, when it comes to, like, the effect of what their daily paycheck, you know, comes down to. Because a lot of these type of fucking people wouldn't be delving into stupid far-right, fascistic, Nazi shit if they had a lot more of a stable income and a lot more of a fucking, you know, better outlook on what, you know, their life was looking like shit, and didn't have these fucking far-right Nazis that were misguiding their fucking disenfranchisement as some sort of, like, white flight bullshit or fucking some weird Nazi fucking myth or some shit. Whereas really just something a lot more fucking simpler than that. But they've set themselves so far in these fucking beliefs and shit that, you know, it's like, I mean, honestly, how do you fucking convince? I saw a fucking, let me see if I can find it. Like, there's a fucking, secular talk video that I was listening to on one of my breaks at work. That, like, what was it? Yeah, here it is. Like, honestly, we don't even really need to, like, watch this so much. I mean, looking at the title of the video really kind of says it all. I mean, 61% of fucking GOP believes in the Great Replacement theory. And you know what? Here, there's the article for it, right there. Boom. The Hill. 6 in 10 Trump voters agree with core 10 of the Great Replacement theory, which is essentially Republican voters. Which, if that's the case, then basically 6 out of 10 Trump voters are essentially saying that they're fucking Nazis and fascists and Christo-fascist authoritarian evangelical Zionist motherfuckers too. Essentially this is what they're just saying. Like, yeah, we're essentially saying that we're a bunch of Nazis. I think, you know, like, brown people are the problem, black people are the problem, and, you know, and, like, yeah, you know, it's like, all white peoples have, you know, are being, you know, slowly but surely, you know, eroded away or whatever the fuck. When, frankly, it's just like, not surprised the GOP has increasingly embraced fascism over the last decade, yeah. And how many fucking people have just been misguided and manipulated in this stupid shit? Because I know people, myself personally, that I know have been, you know, fucking manipulated into this fucking garbage bullshit. Like, I mean, because I have coworkers and shit who are kind of young buck type of people, but a few of them are kind of conservative leaning. And it's just like, and honestly, a few of them, and like at least for the couple conservative leaning coworkers I know, a lot of them, that's kind of vary. One of my conservative leaning coworkers is actually kind of interesting because he's actually pro-environmentalist and very pro-workers' rights. While one of my other conservative coworkers I know is kind of a Trumpy type, but is also pro-workers' rights and also not like this hardcore, racist motherfucker type who's like, legitimately okay with immigrant, type of people as long as they go for the legal process and blah, blah, blah. There's obviously fucking caveat, in his idea in it. But, despite like these things that don't make him necessarily like a Nazi type, like he's misguided in this idea of like, oh, I was a Trump voter, I'm not afraid to say that, blah, 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 and all this type of shit. But it's just like, he's not like this fucking outright Nazi, obviously, or some fascist type of dude. And I definitely don't see him as like, at the end of the day being like, yes, let's do this, fascism, yeah. Like he's, like I look at these type of, conservative workers I have and I'm like, there's, maybe like one of them, but at least the ones that I'm specifically talking about, the two that I'm talking about, I don't see them as like that. At least when it comes to things like race issues, I mean, like, they definitely don't necessarily, have, like, this view of, like, oh, yeah, fuck black people and, 1350 and blah, 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 blah. Like, because the one, at least, for the one who's the more Trumpy type, he's not, like, all the way gun-ho about this weird 1350 bullshit. He's kind of a more pro-cop type of guy, but, like, he's kind of like complicated. I haven't really figured out all of his politics. I only kind of discovered some of this more recently. So, eventually in the future, I kind of want to probe his brain a little bit. Like, I kind of want to figure out where he lies a little more and stuff, just having a back and forth. But, I mean, at least the first back and forth I was having with some of my coworkers before I got off work the one night that I found out about some of it. I was just more so listening, just to kind of see, where he kind of believed in things and stuff, and, seeing, kind of where he lied. And, at least right now, he still doesn't strike me as, like, this, like, type of dude who's just like, oh, fuck, black people, fuck you, and all this type of shit, and fucking great replacement theory, blah. I mean, I don't think it's misguided, and that's the problem. I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, at least right now, I don't truly know. I mean, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt at least, and at least when it comes to my other more conservative coworker, like, who's more pro-environmentalist, and, I mean, I'm gonna at least give nicknames. The Trumpy dude is JD, and the more pro-environmental and more pro-worker right type of dude is more, I'm just gonna say A, so... like A's like, like I said, a little bit more pro-environmental and, more pro-worker right, but at least where, especially as conservatism comes into, is more like trans rights things and, and like feminism and stuff like that, and he definitely has some more outmoded views about, women and, LGBTQ issues and stuff like that. More so his conservatism is more just certain social issues more so than anything. And maybe like a couple economic issues. Like he's not like 100% on board with Medicare for all and stuff like that. But he's close, in a way. Because, I mean, he's not, like, I'm not the only one who's a lefty who's been exposing him to different, more leftist ideas. I have a couple other coworkers who also are leftists who, we all, bullshit and chit-chat, especially if it's a slow day. So, sometimes politics is a discussion, so... Like, especially when it comes to a lot of things, like, I mean, I'm not the only one exposing him to things like unions and, healthcare and shit like that and stuff. The same thing for the more Trumpy type. And honestly, it's just like, at least when I was first learning about my more Trumpy type of coworker, I was like, hey, I don't like, I told him outright, it's like, I'm not a fan of Trump, I don't like him, just let you know, but, hey, look, like, past, I'm just want to look at the present and the future and how to make it better and shit, so, You know, hey, you got a Trump card, you got all that type of stuff, you know, whatever. You do you, bud. I don't care at this point, you know. It's like 2020 was 2020, you know. It's like, I mean, but at least put a thought in my mind like, oh boy, I got some work ahead of me when, you know, having a back and forth with you on a certain issue. So I can already tell. I know he's at least to an extent pro-union though. Because I remember one time it's like, yeah, you want to vote on a contract, man, you got to get those bennies. Talking about, you know, union benefits and stuff like that. So it's just like, I know he's at least to some degree like that. So, I mean, it's not like, you know, too off. It's not like going to be too hard, but it's like, oh boy. You know, maybe if certain issues were brought up, you know, probably got a long river to hoe, you know, so. The resident Trumper at my work is apparently planning on getting a new job. Well, I mean, that could probably be, you know, in short term worse for you because just less staffing. But, I mean, I guess in a way, probably good. I mean, I guess I could go either way. I guess another interesting note is that between A and JD, like JD with my more Trump voting guy, like what I find interesting is that he votes while my more pro-environmental, like pro-worker type of dude, and sees basically the entire system as just like a for-profit type of like system that, you know, the rich just, you know, get rich off of. Like he doesn't vote while obviously JD does. Which I kind of find a little interesting. It's like, huh? You know, even though like I have one coworker who's kind of conservative, who doesn't vote, but is also more pro-environmental, sees, you know, the system more as like, you know, the rich versus poor, stuff like that. And there's another one that, you know, does, but it's a little bit more tribalized in a sense. I mean, it kind of shows, at least on the ground, like if you're in your workplaces and shit like that, you know, so to speak, it's definitely going to be a little bit more complex than it really seems like on the internet, so to speak. Because on the internet, it's just, you know, and on social media and shit like that, it's just so fucking easy to tribalize shit. So fucking easy. And I think there's a reason for that. It's not just, you know, coincidental. I mean, it is to a degree because it's just like easy to just blurt your fucking thoughts out and not really think much about it. But at the same time, it's, you know, like, you know, I mean, there's kind of an encouragement to that type of shit too. Because it's just a way to keep, you know, the poorer class and the working class divided against each other. You know, so obviously, you know, the top 10% or the top 1%, the owner class that has the most influence could just keep raking in the fucking dollars. People are conservative just because they hate trans people are so fucking stupid. Vote yourself in the low standard, living just to own the libs. Well, the thing is, though, at least when it comes to the guy I'm talking, the more, you know, socially conservative guy I'm talking about, he doesn't vote. Like, that's the thing. Like, he doesn't really, you know, see the system in voting as, like, something that actually changes, you know, things for the betterment of your own life. Like, I mean, you know, so he's not somebody that's, like, voting legislation or, you know, shit like that, you know, when it comes to, you know, trans rights and shit. I mean, which I guess is a good thing, but I suppose, especially considering it's Oregon, I mean, even if he did go against it, it wouldn't really matter anyway, because there'd be more people in favor of it here. So, I mean, he has this, like, social views, but, I mean, there's definitely been times where I've talked to him, and, you know, in a way of, like, you know, explain to him where he's kind of, you know, gotten it a little bit, but I mean, he, you know, there's, you know, at least when it comes to certain things, he definitely kind of falls back on, you know, a certain position. But honestly, like, I can kind of get, at least when it comes to, like, this, because he has definitely, like, this weird view about women a little bit. But it's because he's had a negative experience with an ex-wife that he's had, who was legitimately an abusive, at least, you know, from how he's explained it, legitimately, like, an abusive type of person who was kind of a narcissist, was physically and emotionally abusive to him. And at the time, he was actually a police officer for the Portland Police Bureau at the time, funny enough. And he actually was trying to talk about to some of his coworkers and to some of his family, and I don't think his family, but some of his friends, and they just didn't believe him. They thought, oh, you're a big guy, like, what, that's, what, your little Hispanic wife is fucking, abusing you, beating on you, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Like, they just didn't believe it. So he basically was just, like, ostracized, and, by his friends and his coworkers, and fucking, just, like, not believed, for, the abuse he truly had. And, and once he got his divorce and all that type of shit, didn't even really get, like, good end of the bargain really out of it, because she kind of fucked him over a little bit over it. So since then, he's kind of had a more distasteful view about women, which I guess I can get, but still, it's like, that's not all women, obviously. She was just a fucking narcissistic bitch. Like, fuck her. But, like, it's not all women, obviously. But, it's just like, it's one of those things where, like, it's kind of, hard to really get him off of that type of thing, because it's just like, I mean, it's like, I can get it, but, and it's pretty much agreeing you in your way, I suppose, but it's just like, I mean, no, women are like that, though. There's plenty of women who are very awesome and really cool, very creative, awesome, very friendly, empathetic people who legitimately just want to help their fellow human being. Plenty of people like that. Plenty of women too, so it's just like, and also just definitely plenty of strong women who, just, like, if anything, just want to be encouraged, on the shit that they want to do. It's like, yeah, I want to do this shit, I'm going to get it done, and fuck you if you get in my way, like, kind of a strong woman type, it's just like, there's women of all stripes, and just because you have one who's kind of a manipulative, piece of shit, doesn't mean that all women are, A lot of these people do vote on the issue. It is the issue, of course. I mean, I'm definitely not going to deny that. There's a lot of single-issue voters who vote based on abortion/gun/trans. Yeah, and I do think those people are legitimately even more stupid. I mean, while I still think, my, conservative, like the one I'm talking about right now, while I still think his view about women is still kind of dumb, I mean, I'm at least empathetic to his specific, like, experience. I mean, I just don't necessarily agree with, what he views about that, at the end of the day. At least, when it comes to the totality. I mean, because there's definitely cases about where, like, there are men who definitely are on the, victim end on relationships and shit. I mean, it's definitely a case that happens. They definitely do. And, it's just like, and they should be brought to awareness, but it's just like, like, there shouldn't be like, oh, fuck women, blah, 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 like, type of mentality because of that, though. It's just like, yeah, you just met the one person who was just a piece of shit. You met the one woman who was, like, one of the few, like, assholes out there that, don't give a fuck about you. Like, I mean, not all women are like that, obviously. Like I said, there's women of all stripes. I mean, it's like he gets that, like, a little bit. I mean, because, like, our manager's a woman, and he's like, I'm glad you're not like all women, blah, blah, blah. So it's like he kind of gets there is, but it's just like, I don't know, like, I see women more like, at least a majority of women, more like my manager, who's just, like, kind of chill, kind of down to earth type, like, hey, you're chill with me, I'm chill with you type of thing. And I think, honestly, people in general and most people overall are like that. It's like, hey, if you're chill with me, I'm going to be chill with you. And yeah, it's, pretty simple. At least it should be, I would hope. Zukov, what are you doing? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing, buddy? And honestly, it's just like, if these motherfuckers are willing to like do single issue voting on things like abortion or guns rights or trans rights and shit like that, why not do like single issue voting on shit like workers' rights or something? Because I know there are definitely conservatives, like, you know, the ones I'm talking about in my own workplace, even though the two specifically that I'm at least referencing come from two different ideologies, or at least two different points of view as conservative leaning. And it's just like, both of them at least, you know, have favorability towards worker rights and shit. It's just like, why don't it's just like, not necessarily them, but like, why don't, you know, at least the conservatives that do look at that type of shit just be like, hey, why don't you actually fucking vote on that type of shit? Like, you know, if you are in union and you have like, you know, a candidate that's running that actually shows up or something, why don't you just vote for that motherfucker? Which honestly, frankly, that means probably Democrat. And I know for a fact there are definitely some Republicans that will do that, because one of the people that I watch, Paul Seago, he was doing the stream on ideology, and I remember, I think it was around Thanksgiving, I believe. Like, he, you know, obviously visited his family during that time, and he was, you know, obviously probably talking with a lot of them. And he has, like, cousins that are in, like, law enforcement and stuff, and, of course, they're in, like, correctional officers' unions and stuff like that. And a lot of them vote Democrat, despite being a Republican and voting Trump nationally and shit like that. And he asked them, why is that? And it's because these Democrats, you know, at least will show up to our union meetings and show up to our union halls and, you know, listen to us and talk to us and shit. They will at least do that. You know, and that's why we vote for them, at least, because they're pro-union and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, I mean, if there's conservatives that are willing to do that type of shit, then, in California, by the way, then it's definitely very likely and very heavily possible, you know, to do so elsewhere. And it's not just, obviously, correctional officers unions that, you know, fucking, you know, have conservatives in it, and frankly, that's not really the unions, you know, to hit. It's a lot of, like, firefighters unions, because I've noticed, at least in Oregon, the unions that, don't necessarily 100% endorse like progressives, not always, but they will, is firefighters unions, but they endorse a lot of Republicans though. I mean, so I've noticed that at least certain Republicans will get firefighter unions like the IAFF endorsements, and maybe a couple other union endorsements here and there, and then there'll be like some progressives every now and then that'll get them as well, on top of other unions too. So it's just like, every now and then there will be like kind of this at least pro-worker bridge with some unions where, you know, depending on the candidate, if they're legitimately like, yeah, I'm pro-firefighter union or blah 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 blah, they'll endorse you. And if you actually show the fuck up to like their union halls and meetings and shit, then yeah, you're definitely gonna get some support from that. So it's just like, especially for a lot of these single issue voters and shit, I mean, some of them will do that for workers' rights. So it's like, I mean, especially now that labor's on the rise and stuff, where even certain industries that haven't really seen some, you know, like really ever, like the gaming industry and, funny enough, the stripping industry too. It's just like, I mean, now's the time more than ever to like start raking. Sukov, get the fuck over here. Now's the time more than ever to start ranking up in, you know, the workers' rights votes and shit. Because there's definitely a lot of non-voters, Republican and Democrat, or left or right, you know, that will definitely vote on those issues. Because I know a couple, and I've heard, you know, a couple people myself, you know, similar shit. So I know it's fucking possible. We just can't do it. Is that it? It's just not possible. Because even then it helps, you know, bridge more of a gap, you know, in between, you know, a lot of these issues where there's still more strife in, whether it's social issues or other economic issues. Sukov, what the fuck are you doing? Do you want to be on my lap? What do you want? I really don't know what Zukov wants. He's being a nutball. I swear to God, if I turn a corner and there's some fucked up shit, I'm not going to be happy with you. Wait, what the fuck is this? AOC calls out Pelosi over failure of leadership. The gall of AOC to say that. Really? Really, AOC? When you basically bent the knee to the Iron Dome bill for Israel, when Nancy Pelosi scalded you and basically, you know, walk her fucking line. Really? Oh, the audacity. I want to hear this. I actually want to fucking hear this.
Henry Cuellar, he's a valued member of our caucus. He is not pro-choice.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is now very publicly going after Nancy Pelosi and Democratic leadership for their support of Henry Cuellar.
Where was this? Literally fucking when you first were running, when you first fucking were elected. You did that for 1 month, and then you started toning her line and started calling her mom bear and shit. Like, where was that, like, years? Like, where was this for, like, the last, like, year or two?
Narrows. So in this video, I will show you where
she
this
criticized Pelosi. Don't care. Well, yeah. I mean, I like the fact that she is, but like, where was this for like pretty much her entire tenure? Besides like the first month that she was in office.
I will get to details around how terrible Henry Cuellar is. I will show you what AOC said, and I'll also discuss what this means for Democratic leadership to support Cuellar over somebody who is clearly a better candidate. So first here on the race. This is very close. So this is Jessica Cisneros' second time challenging Cuellar.
We still don't know the results of this. Did Cisneros win or did Cuellar win? Because I keep hearing, like, literally every single time I hear about this, it's like, it's too close, it's too close. And it's like, Jesus Christ, is it going to be a recount or a re-election or what the fuck is going on? Like, holy God.
She lost by just a couple thousand votes. Now she is down by only 177 votes. Again, showing you...
Wait, that was the last information I heard. So, oh my God. I still don't know.
Every vote matters. Summer Lee in Pennsylvania barely won her race, but she was able to win it.
Honestly, like, Kurt Schrader was literally a fucking, like, endorsed by Pelosi and all this shit. He's basically Joe Manchin of the fucking... How old is this? Is over? Oh, is it over? I honestly don't know the updates of it. Like, who won? Was it Cisneros or was it Cuellar? Like, this is as of 16 hours ago. I mean, he's just talking about the specific thing. Like, he didn't get to the context of the video quite yet. So, I mean, obviously this is, you know, at least for this specifically, for the election, it's a little outdated. So, I mean, at least last time I checked, it was a little, you know, early this morning, and there wasn't really anything. Cuellar? Are you fucking kidding me? So, oh, wow. So, the anti-abortion, like, so the Republican, like, that is, you know, for some reason, running as a Democrat, decide, you know, wins. Oh, go figure. Wow. Okay. Wow. At least Schrader Ross. Like, they just called it because it just wasn't mathematically possible for Schrader to win. And thank fucking God he's gone! I'm so glad he's gone. I'm sick of having to, like, deal with him. Even though well, really, the lack thereof, because he literally does nothing. Besides be a literal cretinous piece of shit, but anyway. But now we got, you know, at least a Texan cretinous piece of shit who's gonna probably, you know, eventually kind of take his place a little bit from the sounds of it. Do you know how many fucking, like, Kurt Schrader fucking, like, mail-in bullshit things, like, that I got that had, like, Pelosi's face on it, Schumer's face on, and all this garbage? Like, it was pretty much every single one of them. And, like, there was one time I literally got 3 in one fucking day. I was just like, what the fuck? Are we serious? It was just absurd. And despite all the money and all the fucking shit, because of how scared he was, he still lost. And honestly, on a national level, pretty quietly too. So he went quietly in that good night, like he probably should. He's probably gonna, make a pretty nice, decent little, quiet, sideline little lobbyist though. Probably for the healthcare industry or some shit, or maybe the natural gas industry or something. He'll definitely make a nice little lobbyist somewhere. But hey, at least his fucking 7 terms have come to a fucking end. But now we have to deal with goddamn fucking Cuellar, who's the only fucking Democrat to pretty much be like a pro-lifer motherfucker. Like, are we... Oh my god. And we're supposed to take the Democratic leadership very fucking seriously. And honestly, that's why, for the longest time, I put to question the fucking, squad and people like AOC and shit. As to why, they were, simpering up so much, to the fucking establishment. Because, like, this is what they fucking support. They basically support a lot of, like, a lot of the, like the Democratic, establishment where they, would rather basically just kowtow to Republican ideas versus fucking, the more progressive values and shit. And literally, stifle progressives versus fucking left, versus, the establishment or even Republican-leaning style candidates. The dinos like Cuellar or Manchin. And people like Schrader, who luckily lost, because at least, people around here were fucking sick of them. No, never said that. I'm not saying you said that. No, don't think I'm saying that you said that. I'm just saying this on just a general level. To be honest, I don't really care about a lost hope for improvement. I mean, I guess I haven't really gotten that far yet. I might have passion to get. Well, because honestly, I guess in my doomerism, like, I still have, like, a sense of optimism because I still see, like, potential in my fellow man. I mean, because, like, I mean, when it comes to different things like the labor movement and a lot of people that are, legitimately pissed off of, like, a lot of the social progress that's being revoked and shit, like, I know people, like, get it to some degree or another. It's just tapping into that shit and harnessing it into something that, actually, can give us something more, fruitful, really. And there's some places around this country, like in my little local area, that have, been able to tap into that a little bit. But there's, I mean, just because that's happened doesn't mean there's a plethora of fucking progress to go, because there is. But, I mean, as much, it's always been a struggle, and especially when it comes to being a leftist, like, no one said it'd be easy, and especially when it comes to leftists, you kind of have to get used to losing a lot. I mean, because especially, like, you're gonna be bumping up against the whole system in a lot of ways. I mean, hell, sometimes when it comes to certain unions, they might be legitimately co-opted and corrupted, like certain organizations and progressive organizations might be the same way. So you even have to bump up against them a little bit, to try to usurp, the leadership, because they're not going far enough, because either they've been co-opted, or the money was too good, or they just think, oh, well, we can't be, like, too hard, blah, 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 when, like, direct fucking action is, at this point, fucking necessary. Like, I mean, especially, this is kind of why I say eschew electoralism and go for more direct action, because at least, like in my little local area, yeah, in the primaries, I absolutely voted. Like, I made sure Mark Gamba, Jamie Malone Skinner, I think her name was Christina Stevenson, for the board of like Labor Bureau or some shit, whatever the fuck it was called. There was a few candidates. There was a lot of fucking candidates on the primaries and shit that I wanted to make sure it fucking got through. And luckily, I think as far as I'm concerned, pretty much every single one that I was, hoping for fucking made it and shit, because people around here are tapped into it a little bit. And yeah, maybe a lot of them aren't necessarily like directly in line with my fucking views, but hey, they're on their fucking right track, and that's what really fucking matters. And that's what direct action fucking could get you. I mean, and there's honestly some people that have been reelected and shit because they're around there since like 2013 and shit. And around 2012 and 2013 and shit was during like the Occupy Wall Street and shit like that. Where there was a lot of like, hey, we wanted to see some fucking direct action because we were promised hope and change and shit from the Obama administration. And some places and certain areas in the country kind of harnessed and channeled that in a little bit. And there was, at least I remember in 2020, some people that were, doing a good job and actually endorsed by even some unions like mine who were there since 2013 specifically. And it's just like, I wonder why that is. It's just like these type of movements and shit, when harnessed in, it actually gets somebody through, especially in a more local level and shit. That's where the direct action comes to a result where electoralism actually gets you fucking results. And what the fuck are you barking about? He's barking an agreement. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You tell him, Zukov. I'm definitely not giving up. This bullshit just makes me more angry at the establishment and motivated to fight them. Abso-fucking-lutely. I want to find out what, I want to, see one of those, Ukrainian videos on how to make a Molotov and shit, low-key. I'm not even going to lie. In Minecraft, by the way, but, Minecraft. Yeah. Especially this Uvalde shit and how the cops, fucking reacted to this type of shit. To that type of shit. Like, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, that shit really should be, like riot-inducing fucking anger shit right there. I mean, frankly, as far as I'm goddamn concerned, it's just like, what? They sat around on their ass for an hour, pepper sprayed and, fucking handcuffed and, detained a bunch of parents who were trying to fucking save their kids and other children. And, and basically they did lick of a fucking shit. And it was a Border Patrol agent that whacked him. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, honestly, especially as a young guy, I definitely got, every fucking right to be pissed off and, fight even harder and shit. And, I mean, I've done my fair share so far, and I ain't definitely gonna stop. Corrupt assholes at every level. Yep. You have to bump up against the whole system. I mean, there's a old guy in the Harlan County, USA documentary that basically, at least on a more labor perspective, talks about that. Where it's like sometimes you'll find on literally every level, some corrupt agencies, the politicians, the pastors, the Catholic priests, and blah, 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 and, even sometimes union officials and stuff. So, us as children, we're had to, bump up, against the whole system. But yet we did it, and we still got our fucking, wages, and, and that mattered a lot to us, and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, I mean, when you have to bump up against the whole thing, even if you do get, some incrementalism, at least that is the type of incrementalism that will fucking count. Especially when you hardcore fucking fight for it, not this weird, we as the establishment will, work bipartisan agreement with the other side, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, I'm sure that fucking, concession feels so good. Yes. Just like that Mitt Romney care plan that Obama went through with, that was nicknamed Obamacare, basically. What are you doing? I saw a tweet of an interview asking someone about the gap in their resume. Oh yeah, that. It's just me having this mental condition where I'm apprehensive about working for someone who wants to overwork and underpay me. Oh man, I know the fucking feeling. I think none of your business would be an acceptable answer also. Yeah, true. Like, frankly, outside of just basically, some simple, like, hey, are you qualified for the job criteria? Like, why do we have to have, like, some weird-ass fucking resume where we have to basically put, like, half of our, like, life's essence into it or some weird shit? They have, like, references and all this garbage. Because I've known people who've literally, like, been undermined and undercut from fucking, potential work and shit because, we called up a reference and they had a bad name about you, so fuck you. And it's like, huh? It's just like, Jesus Christ. It's like, man, you better hope to God you have a good reference for your fucking resume or some shit, because, goddamn, like, that could be the life or death of you, basically, if you're trying to get a job. Does a gap in a resume affect your ability to do the job you're applying to? Hell no, it's irrelevant. Yeah, because frankly, honestly, it depends on the job you're applying for. Some care more than others. Like, honestly, like, that's why, I think, like, hey, what's your criteria? Like, I mean, at least having some sort of, like, if you're working a specialized job, like, let's say you're working, like, some sort of machinist or you're an electrician or some shit, like, having some form of proof of criteria that you're qualified for that job, like, yeah, that's going to be necessary. But, like, let's say you're trying to go work at a fucking Walmart or McDonald's or a Safeway or wherever the fuck, like, does it really matter? Like, you could get trained on the job within a week. Like, it took me about a week or two to actually get the training, down when it comes to the job that I'm working. And actually to truly get fully acclimated took maybe about a month or so. But, like, actual training and knowing what to do at the job and shit doesn't take, for what I do at least, it takes no more really than a week. Like, honestly, I've seen a lot of people who legitimately fucking, like, who don't know shit, who will, like, get the hang of it with, like, even within literally the same fucking day they got hired and started their fucking job. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that, can, like, get the hang of, especially what I do. It's not even that hard. You need a resume to get a job at Walmart or McDee's. Yeah, you need a resume to get any job. Yeah, Venom? Like, he was trying to get a job at, I think, Dollar General not too long ago, and they literally denied him because when he sent his resume, he had Walmart's reference, and because Walmart fucked him over very extensively, they would literally not apply him because of that shit. They would not hire him whatsoever because, Walmart had a bad taste in your mouth and shit, so fuck you. He actually was able to potentially get a job and shit, so at a little mom and pop type of grocery thing. So, hopefully he, does get that because, hey, good for him and all that shit. But, like, I mean, it's still fucked that he got denied just because he sent in a resume for Dollar General and, because he got fucked over by Walmart and they got a very negative, type of thing and shit. Where it's like, no. It's probably a good thing. Dollar General is a notoriously shitty place to work. True, arguably worse than Walmart. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, probably true. Because he's working at a mom and pop grocery store now, or maybe, I actually don't know if he is or not. He said, last time I heard, he said, I might get a job there. I'll know in like a day or two. And it's like, okay. So I actually don't know if he is or not. But he has actually been on outside of, like, in the early afternoons. So I'm thinking, maybe he did. It's so good on him. I hope he saves up his money to get the fuck out of the state of Alabama. I dead ass will, like, make room to, like, bunk him and shit. Like, I don't even give a fuck. I'll get him out of that state. I'll figure it out for him. Yeah, they really are bad. Oh. And I guarantee you they're pretty much like the same as Dollar Tree, too. Yeah, time to get the fuck out of Dodge. No, seriously, man. I honestly, every now and then, I really do kind of think about it and be like, damn, I'm kind of worried, because he's, like, I'm like a syndicalist, like, union leftist. He's just straight up like a communist. So, like, being in Alabama, like, he's even, like, in a worse, like, political state of affairs, because if people knew he was like that, oh my god, he would... Oh boy. I'd worry for him. Luckily, only a couple of people do, because he does have a few friends out there, but, I mean... I would ensure that, people did not know about that. Their products are more priced and they treat the workers worse. And they're considered Dollar General. You would think everything would be like a dollar, like Dollar Tree. Oh my god. You're enlightening me to some new information about them that I didn't even necessarily know. I kind of figured they treated their workers like shit. Like, I kind of figured that. But, ooh. They have more money to move into poor neighborhoods, force actual grocery stores out to create food deserts. Especially in the small town that he lives in. Yep, sounds right. Most stuff is in dollar. We're lucky we don't have it in Oregon. Well, I mean, we have the Dollar Tree, which I think at this point they're $1.25 now. So they're at this point not even $1 anymore. My brother used to work the assistant manager at Family Dollar. Every time I ask him about it, he gets this faraway, twitchy look in his eye, and he looks at me and whispers, "No." Actually, I think it was Dollar General. Oh my god. Oh man, when you got somebody who is in a workplace and just simply does that to you, that's straight up that fucking some PTSD shit, bro. That's some PTSD shit right there, man. Oh my god, dude. Dude. Who was it again? Your brother? Or was that comment? Yeah, your brother? I'm not even kidding, dude. Like, that's like, your brother probably got straight up PTSD, dude. That's some PTSD shit right there. Wait a minute. Wait, why is that door closed? Did he close himself out? Hold on. Oh my god, he did! What did you do? You closed yourself out, you fucking goofball. Oh my god, you weirdo. Get over here. Oh my god, you fucking freak. $1.25 tree. Family Dollar and Dollar General are the same company. Wow. Go figure. They should have renamed it a $1.50 store, Lamau. $1.50 tree. Yeah, $1.50 tree. Sukov. Baby! Come here. Come here. Come forth. Come here. Come here. Come forth. I will literally give you some salami. I know you'll want some. Yep, I knew it, you little fucking cocksucker. Get over here. You little fuck. Come here. Hey. Damn dog identifies as a cat. Yeah, he kind of does. Want some more salami? Oh my god, look at him. Hey. Hey. There you go. He just... I don't even think he chewed that. I think he just swallowed it whole. Hey, it's over here. Hey. Good boy. There you go.
There you go. Oh. Who's a good baby? Who's a good baby?
Benito Taco has taught him well. Yes, he does. So Cavo Burrito and Benito Taco. Yes. Oh, you're such a baby. Oh. Yeah, dogs don't hang out and savor food slowly in their mouth. Yeah, they don't. It's Genoa salami. I actually don't like Genoa salami that much, so I mean, I don't need to savor it. Remember that one dog who swallowed the entire burrito in 1 second? Yep. Can we see some legs? Go see some legs going kicking? Yeah! Yeah! Look at that little leg. Come on! Get your leg kicking, you little lazy bastard! You lazy little prick! Demonetization material. What am I doing as demonetization material? I'm literally rubbing his chest vigorously to get his leg to go like go kicking like nuts, like craziness. Oh, crazy boy. Not you. Was showing. Oh, his peaches. Oh, his little peaches. His little peaches, yeah. His little peaches. I think it was a little pet, like it. You know, I think if it's an animal, it don't matter. Rip not line, bro. I mean, I can't help it. It's just a fucking. Oh my god, whatever. YouTube don't give a shit if it's like just an animal, just being an animal, bro. I'm not like, fuck, you sure about that? I'm pretty sure. Are we actually going to make, like, are we gonna make me, like, look up some shit just to, like, confirm that, like, yeah, I mean, if there's year 2, lol. I mean, like, they never took that infamous raccoon video. What's the infamous raccoon video? I mean, hold on, like, look, I mean, I'm actually trying, I'm dead ass gonna, like, fucking, like, break this down a little bit. I've seen some different fucking videos, meme videos, fucking, like, random videos that get recommended on YouTube's algorithm and shit, where it's just like, you know, the cojones of an animal just happen to be there and shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, just the happenstance that they're there is like, man, you know, like, I mean, you don't necessarily give a fuck if they just happen, you know, it's just like, I mean, what, like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm giving him chest rubs and belly rubs. I'm not going down there, like, I mean, his peaches are his peaches. I ain't touching his peaches. They're non-harvestable. They're the peaches that don't ripen and, you know, and can't harvest, you know what I'm saying? That's for, like, a female canine to do. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's the no-no square of Zokov. Yes. Oh, look at you. You're just a sweet baby. You're just a sweet little baby. You got your little peaches. That is your no-no square. Aren't peaches for ass, though? Well, I mean, the only reason why I call them his little peaches is because they look like, well, they dead-ass look like fuzzy little peaches. I mean, his little balls kind of look a little reddish like a peach. So, I mean, yeah, they're his peaches. I just nickname him his little peaches. You got little peaches. Here's what you're looking for. A zucchini? You mean an eggplant? Like, honestly, YouTube would have an issue if I was starting to do something with his peaches. Like, but because I'm not doing anything with his peaches, because I have no desire to do anything with his peaches, I don't think YouTube will have an issue if his peaches just happenstance happen to just exist. If my peaches happen to just happenstance be there, that would be a fucking problem. Oh, you're smelling the fucking last little bit of the salami I have for you, huh? You're smelling the salami, you little bastard. I know puking is TOS on Twitch, animal or human. Yeah, I know that. I don't think... I mean, YouTube definitely isn't, because there's been YouTube videos that have been recommended to me that straight up is of a dog puking. So, I know for a fact that, you know, that's the case. Even if it's drunk guy, yep. I don't know why, though. That's a little stupid. I mean, I guess I could get it, but, I mean, honestly, like, I mean, especially if it's a drunk guy. Well, oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, because I'd probably be considered like, hey, you have alcohol poisoning, so blah, 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 blah. Like, honestly, even if, you know, like, I might be a little drunk or some shit, and dead ass, I might puke or some shit, and I, for some dumb fucking reason, want to keep streaming, which, luckily, I haven't had anything like that. Like, I'll just, like, go outside and then come back. But usually, if something like that's happening, I'll try to end the stream, you know, nonchalantly, like, before that happens. You know, so I could just deal with my shit and recover and just go to bed and just soil my misery. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just, like, at least for me, I have a way in the system to avoid, you know, that type of shit. So Twitch isn't alcohol friendly? I mean, yes. Just don't let it come back up. Yeah. And also, don't get, like, too drunk, so to speak. Like, I mean, if you're, like, being heavily excessive with it, like, they will have, like, you know, a little bit like, hey, you have, like, you know, a 1 week, you know, suspension, so, you know, knock it off, you. Like, they'll, you know, they'll definitely have, like, you know, a little bit of a slap on the wrist, depending. But, for the most part, yeah, they're pretty chill about it. Puke off camera, lol. Yeah. I remember, honestly, like, I know they're chill about it because I've literally downed an entire bottle of wine watching the Harley County, USA on 4th of July last year when I was on Twitch. Like, I downed that entire fucking bottle and didn't puke or anything. I was just drunk and just, like, watching a documentary, so, you know, with everybody. So it's just like, I mean, you know, like, honestly, you know, they're okay with it, just, you can't, like, basically be, like, an excessive alcoholic drunk fuck, basically. I remember that. Yeah. God, that was a good stream, too. I wish I, like, had a way to download that, honestly. I'd upload that here. But, hey, we could have a... It's not like, you know, that'd be the only time to watch it. It's still on YouTube. Bye-bye. You ate all the salami. Oh, wait, you know what? Never mind. You have a little more. You want more salami, don't you? I haven't had Ignor's Fine Ass Wine in a long time. What was it called? Honeywood? Yep, Honeywood. They do mixed berry, pear, raspberry, blackberry. They do different flavors. I wouldn't name the liquor store to get some because they have different flavors at the store, but it's a little too close to where I live, so I don't want to really name drop it. The Rip, I think you know what I'm talking about, though. And if you go there, they have a tiny little corner that has like 5 to 6 different flavors. The blackberry's the one I like. My store carries it. Good boy. Yeah, my store carries the blackberry and the raspberry wine. But the liquor store that I'm talking about carries like 5 other different flavors, including those 2. And all of them are good as fuck. The pear one's good. The mixed berry is exceptionally really good. The blackberry is definitely very good. The raspberry, I think, is... Outside of the mixed berry and that one, I think those 2 are pretty much my favorite. I'm slapping cash right now, so I have to pick up a bottle. If you happen to be near my area, like, I mean, hey, I'll definitely have to fucking hook you up. Now you're actually out of salami. You don't have any more salami. This is the bag the salami came in. You have no salami, see? Yeah, no salami for you. The sweet is good, but I wasn't thinking about lying. Honestly, like, it was only tonight that I was kind of thinking about, you know, I'm not much of a wine fiasco, but every now and then I feel the mood for it. Like, I started a stream kind of saying that. You know what? I might have to pick up a bottle too of Honeywood. I think I might, you know, yeah, like, next time I feel like I really want to have a fun little drink mode for a stream, I might have to pick up a bottle of Honeywood. Instead of an IPA and like a cider like I usually do, I'm definitely gonna, yeah, I think that's the game plan. Bubble. I have some turkey, but I want to put that in your food bowl with some rice. Yeah, some rice and turkey. Old English 800. Oh God. Ugh. I will never buy that. There's no way in hell I'm buying that shit. Pick one up for my parents. They're in town next week. Oh, really? I have to, like, you know, try to, I don't know, see them next time. They're actually pretty dope. Isn't this stuff nasty? I see memes of it sometimes. Yes, it is gross as fuck. I've tried it before. I've never bought it, but I have tried it before, and it is fucking revolting. It's like if you're desperate as fuck to get just wasted, like, quick, that's like a desperation drink. Like, if you are, like, in a pinch and you're desperate, that's what you get. But frankly, it is just fucking revolting. And honestly, I don't even think it gets better if you drink more of it. I don't want to know. I don't think it would. Ugh. Keep Portland 82nd. Oh, is this the infamous meme? Oh, you know what? I have to fucking, like, find a Portland subreddit post, dude. That is just disgusting. And yes, it is. I've saved this. I saved that. I'm never desperate enough for that shit. Me neither, dude. Hold on. I actually have to go to the bathroom real quick, so let me try to find it, and then I'll pull it up when I come back. I just gotta fucking find it. Where'd it go? It's gonna have a picture attached to it, I know that much. Where are you? Where's the post that I want to see? That made me kind of triggered as fuck. 'Cause it was notified to me. But because I restarted my phone to start this, it went away. Now I have to find it again. Okay, I went too far back, I can already tell. God damn. God damn. Let me try to find it. Oh, I found it. Okay, cool. Now that I found it, I'll do this and be right back. I will. I'm finding something that's kind of quick and in my mind. Here we go. This bladder, I know, fuck you. Alright, I'll be right back. And I'll catch up with the chat too a little bit. Oh yeah, you keep hearing bathroom, which triggered. Whoa, a battery? A battery. Not a battery, a flashlight. Really? A broken one? the hell? There we go. Alright. I know earlier he was fucking some shit. He had a flashlight. It was gnawing on that earlier. It's just like, what the fuck? Anyway, what was this other shit? This brewery slash restaurant store, Hillsborough, that will blow you away. They stock in the same variety of beers. ABV. It's popular if until teams looking for a place to outing. Sounds similar to Belmont and Station of Beer Mongers. The listener my company's office is also right next to a different brewery. I wonder if Intel specifically like, hey, we want to make sure workers get nice and drunk after work, so we're gonna send them to fucking send them over to these little breweries and bars and stuff right after work. Honestly, the weird way it went, that surprised me. But I saw this like fucking notification on the board of the subreddit that kind of triggered me a little bit. Not even gonna lie. Where'd it go? Where's my screen? Screen, come forth. Screen, come forth. There we go. But it's sickening. Garbage. Homeless camps built up upon Portland Airport Way. It's like, I wonder if there could be like different like socioeconomic conditions and fucking like, you know, programs and different type of shit that could fucking, you know, actually improve in a lot of these situations. Yeah, I kind of want to see what some of these type of comments are. As a child, I was supposed to say, well, about taking this story to say, okay, well, that's dangerous to be sagging, salmon are good movie shooting at rocks, both Metro and Malone County, soil and water districts are responsible. What? Huh? I just don't understand how working cigarette could even allow the possibility of a groundwater become contaminated. What country do you live in? Oh my god, what country do you live in? Yeah, no shit. Oh my fucking god, okay. I don't even... Oh my lord. There it was once also a Superfund site. It was gonna bring us in maybe 10 years ago. Now it's a Superfund site again. Huh? Is there context I'm missing some of these? I sometimes I don't get how Reddit comments are. Okay, here's like a totally separate one, I can tell. Okay. It's gotten so much worse in the area the past few years. I used to run the slow trails almost every day at lunch. Got called to buy a pit bull from a camp a few years back, so we switched to the... Wow. I love the specific, like, pit bull. Evil, aggressive dogs. Boo. So we switched to the Marine Drive Trail. Trails mostly blocked in some areas. All the green space routes stored in this area. It's a nightmare. Truly, nearly all the good Pittsburgh is our landmine zone. Cyclists everywhere. Like, where in the fuck do these people live? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, fuck, it's, you know, like, when it comes to this, like, homeless shit, it's, like, bad, but, like, I mean, it's like, we're getting attacked by, like, pit bulls everywhere, blah, blah, blah. It's, like, honestly, for me, it's kind of, like, hardly, honestly. Like, I never really, like, I never see that shit. Like, even, like, the close experience, with, you know, like, if a dog attack or whatever the fuck for me and shit was, like, really was more so, actually kind of recently, the other day. Like, if, because, this dude has a dog outside, but it literally looked like a roided out, like, steroid, like Hulk Hogan dog, basically. Or, like, an Arnold Schwarzenegger dog, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And, it was actually outside of the breeder place I go to a lot. And when I went out the door and shit, and the dog was like, you know, all like aggressive and like a little bit. It was actually very friendly when his owner was next to him, but when he was by himself, he suddenly became like, I'm gonna destroy both of you, and I'm a demon dog. Ooh, Dominus Luciferus. It's just like, whoa, holy shit. Like, this, I mean, considering how much of like a wide-bodied fucking Hulk Hogan fucking like beast it was, I was like, Jesus Christ. So like, yeah, that's like a little bit of a demon right there. It's like, fuck. But that's just in my like literal dead-ass local area, and that's, at least for me, the one time that's ever really happened. 2 out of 3 people are killed by dogs from pit bulls. I mean, how many times do, like, I mean, how often do people get killed by dogs, though? I mean, guaranteed if they were owned by some asshole before it happened. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, frankly, because honestly, like, especially when it comes to pit bulls, it's just, especially due to some, you know, either because they're owned by some dog fighter or some asshole that didn't train them properly and shit. 568 people between 2005 and 2020. So I guess not necessarily that much, but yeah, I mean, it definitely, you know, it's a pretty decent chunk. It's like, oh, a little higher than I thought. I mean, but yeah, even for a 15-year time span. But yeah, it's not like epidemic levels, like thousands or anything. Yeah, I mean, it's not like huge, but it's still like, oh, well, I guess a little higher than I thought. I mean, I was honestly thinking more like 100 something maybe between like a time span like that. But no, it's in like the multiple of hundreds. But I mean, it's not that bad, which at least is good. I mean, honestly, I bet dog attacks specifically are probably a lot higher than that. And honestly, the dog I'm talking about wasn't even like hyper aggressive. He was just more like, hey, my owner isn't with me. I'm alone. Fuck you. Get away from me. Like, I mean, I could kind of tell what the dog's behavior was. It was more defensive, more than like, I'm gonna fuck you up type of aggressiveness and shit. It's just like, considering like the beef boy, you know, type of dog it was, like, he was just kind of doing like the get the fuck away from me, I'm warning you type of like, you know, defensiveness of Zukov, because I mean, he's such a fucking ridiculous friendly boy that he's just gonna waltz up and sniff you without any care in the world. Like, even by leave a mark that counts as an attack. Yeah. Yeah, which I've had before. Like, I mean, I've had marks. I mean, I still have permanent scars, you know, from attacks I've had on me. I'm gonna show what percentage attacks are lethal. Probably not that often. I mean, like, the 2 that I know for certain that I've had definitely weren't lethal, because they're just both attacks on my hand. Like, I mean, that's not gonna be lethal. If it was on my neck, that'd be one thing. Like, does that count attacks where they were justified, like they were protecting an owner? I don't know. You know, when it comes to like dog attacks, I actually don't know how they do those statistics on data. I imagine that if they have the information for it, they, you know, would separate the percentages, you know, like within the overall percentage. But I mean, honestly, I don't know. Because I know there's definitely some cases out there that, you know, it's like, hey, you know, or, you know, like, you know, we had like an intruder on our property or some shit, or I was being attacked on the street and my dog, you know, attacked the attacker or some shit. It's just like, I mean, you know, there's definitely going to be some cases where it's justified, and there's going to be, you know, that type of shit. So, I mean, I don't know. I actually am not too sure about that. I'd imagine there's probably, you know, some data on it or something. I mean, yeah, at least you'd think. Here, we're gonna pop a little tunage here real quick, y'all. At least for some background noise. German Shepherd Bloodhound mix. I'm intrigued because I don't think I have. Oh, it's on Twitter? Well, I guess I'm not necessarily on Twitter as much. Biggest ears, guess what two breed she is? Oh my god, those ears are huge. Oh my goodness. That puts Zukov's ears to shame.
Depending on their mood, when she turns her head.
Oh my god, her ears are ridiculous.
Yeah? Am I late feeding you? We call it sport mode when she pins them back. When she's walking down the street, her ears will bounce, so it looks like she's trying to flap her wings and fly away. Sometimes my dad will call her like a Boeing 737.
Dude, honestly, like, fucking Zukov is the same way. Like, his ears will kind of be flappy and shit.
When she leans forward, they go out and then
They're
down.
just very small, though.
Her head to the side, one goes stick straight up. It literally.
No, Zukov will be the same way. Oh my god. Oh, this is so cute.
Dixie came into my life when I was 13 years old. When we first got her, her ears, they mainly flopped. And then as she got older, they started trying to stand up, but it just never happened. It's like the bottom half wanted to stand, but the top half said absolutely not.
Nope.
I went from a dog with the biggest ears in the world to a dog with literally no ears. Mumu is our little pity mix. We found her on the side of the road. Her ears were already clipped. We get a lot of comments saying like Dixie stole her ears, or like, oh, just share some of Dixie's ears with Mumu.
Aww.
Her first interaction with Dixie, little Mumu was like wagging her tail really fast, and Dixie was immediately in love with her. Dixie raised her up, so they were super bonded. It's kind of like a mix between a motherly love and a sisterly love. Then Alfie came in. He's a crazy chocolate lab mix. Really closely with Blue Cat.
Oh my god.
Alfie and Dixie's relationship is like the cranky old lady and old man who live together. It took her a little bit longer to accept the fact that he's not going anywhere.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Do I have my gallery up on here? Do I? No, I don't. Fuck. I'm gonna have to pull that up here in a second, because I got some video for, oh no! Oops. I have some video compilation I kind of made up a little bit, like kind of for a little vlog video when I was going on a range day, and Zukov was doing the same shit, and oh my god, he looks so cute. He just looks so cute doing it.
Took her a little bit longer.
Like any dog that's like, oh my god, that looks, okay, that fucking freeze frame though. Like any dog. I mean, but like any dog that's just like sticking their little head out, just enjoying this wind and like that and shit, it's just so great. This is awesome.
He's not going anywhere. She's very sassy and she's very particular. She knows she's a
Jowl's
queen,
flapping in
and
the
her ears kinda
wind.
match the personality with it.
Oh.
Pulled her ears straight up, she looked super shepherd. If you flop them down to the side and like press them against her head, she looks very bloodhound. My DNA tested her for her 12th birthday. So she is a German Shepherd Bloodhound mix. The rescue kids, in my opinion, they have the most uniqueness and the best story to tell. Dixie is a one-of-a-kind dog. You can never duplicate her. Dixie means everything to me. She like raised me. She's been there with me my whole life. She's like my soul dog, my heart dog.
Oh. Zuka. Oh wait, he's outside. I left the door open. Damn it! I want to cuddle with him. No! What did I just do? Ah! No! No! Get back here! Oh, she's just so cute. Her ears are huge. For like a little stubby pup, like her ears are fucking gargantuan. Elon Musk got owned by the libs yet again. Ooh, I want to see why Mars colony is a stupid and dangerous idea. Hey, wait, hold on. Like, I'm kind of down for a Mars colony. I just don't want Elon Musk doing that shit. I want, like, the entire, like, you know, global, like, one world government, benevolent, like, AI humanity world to fucking do that shit. I don't want fucking Elon Musk doing it. Elon Musk? It's okay to be Decay to take down Musk. Oh my. What? Even George Decay is doing that shit? Alright, hold up. Before we see this video, we gotta see this. Renus and I wrong, and I thought, oh my. Jack off the board? What? Of Twitter. Jack off the board of Twitter. I'm a fan of Jack, by the way. I wish he would stay on the board, but I understand that he needs to move on. Warning, NSW pick. Got any more? Oh my god. Okay, well. How do you jack off a board? I don't know. I guess that's the question I guess the K's answer is, I read this wrong and thought, oh my. How do you jack off a board? I am very intrigued to find out, Elon Musk. Evidently you are telling us things that you do not know. Or you do not wish the society to know. But I am intrigued. Oh my. I love George Takei. He's fucking great. I want to see that. Oh, I want to check this out too.
Elon Musk here, full of good ideas that always work out. Tell me, wouldn't it be epic to live on a Mars colony? Life on the Red Frontier. What could be more le epic Reddit 420 Keanu Reeves than that? But just what is a Mars
lol Omega lol Reddit 420 Keanu Reeves? Wait, oh my, hold on, wait, what did he even say?
Wouldn't it be epic to live on a Mars colony? Life on the Red Frontier. What could be more le epic Reddit 420 Keanu Reeves than that? But
ooh, that's a mouthful. Holy shit.
a Mars colony. Well, it's a colony on Mars. It's the reason why SpaceX exists in the first place, and they are already working on it. The establishment of the colony itself, together with a lunar base, is scheduled for 2022, as announced in...
Well, I think they're probably a little bit late on schedule on that one, I would imagine.
2017. Following 5 years of feverish work, the project is already in the CGI rendering stage. The colony will feature cool surface domes,
Hey, guess what? It's 2022, so yeah, they're late on schedule.
solar panels, and a remote-controlled self-destruct mechanism in case colonists try to unionize. Join us on this exciting suicide mission.
What? Self-destruct button in case fucking workers and colonists decide to unionize. Oh my god. Oh my god. Elon Musk actually unironically would probably fucking do that. Holy shit. Dude, he absolutely actually unironically would do that. What? No, okay, we gotta go back. That was too fucking good. Oh my god, hold on. I'm trying to fucking unclog this bowl and put it back in and do this at the same time and laugh. Oh my god, okay, hold on.
Surface domes, a ton of solar panels, and a remote-controlled self-destruct mechanism in case colonists try to unionize. Join us.
Okay. Okay, alright. Oh my god, okay. Self-destruct button. It's like, what, there's some immunization going on here? Quick, just destroy it all. Just self-destruct it. Oh my god. Damn. Well, I guess that does definitely bust the union efforts. I mean, damn. Oh, fuck me. Okay, that really tickled my jargon. Oh my god, damn.
Suicide mission which doesn't have any practical goals or justifications beyond lore on Mars. Yeah, a Mars colony is an extremely stupid and dangerous idea, and it will be for the foreseeable future. And I'm here to explain why. If you are excited about a Mars colony, chances are it's because of Elon Musk. People like Elon Musk, who pay millions of dollars to market themselves as real-life Tony Starks, have managed to convince a lot of people that our level of technology is far more advanced than it actually is. I call this the Marvel effect, since their movies do the exact same thing.
Alright, it's more like a fucking Thomas Edison, but I get what he's saying.
That when you first saw the SHIELD helicarrier, you didn't think it was kinda sorta possible to build in real life with our existing technology. And don't get me wrong, we have come a long way in terms of what we can accomplish, but colonizing Mars, let alone fucking terraforming, is still out of our reach. But even if we had the technology to reliably colonize Mars right now, doing so still wouldn't make a lick of sense. And so throughout the video, we'll be considering the following points. The logistics of getting to Mars.
It's a self-destruct button in case I'm calling this nice. I'm so fucking giggity over that.
Vacations for a colony, the practical problems of living on Mars, the psychological effects on colonists, fucking terraforming, better alternatives to Mars, and a mystery point, codename Absolute Trainwreck. And I find the psychological effect especially concerning. Your mental health and Mars aren't exactly a match made in heaven.
Okay, hold on, alright. I'm trying to actually kind of collect myself and read this, alright, so. The logistics of getting to Mars. That's self-explanatory. It's gonna take at least like 3 fucking something months to get there, so it's gonna take a while. So, like, any colonists that are gonna be there probably are gonna be bored as fucking galore for the 3 months they're gonna be up there. So, just getting there. So, I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, you're gonna need to figure out something with that. The potential justifications for a colony. I mean, I guess just literally the virtue of just, like, you know, seeing if humans can survive off this fucking planet. You know, I guess that virtue is probably justification enough, at least in my opinion. Because, I mean, if we keep fucking this planet up, we're gonna really quickly need to find some other alternatives quick as fuck. So, if we can, like, you know, figure something out with Mars, then hey, you know, we could probably figure something out. Am I actually going to play devil advocate for Musk a little bit here, depending on the context of these arguments here, or at least the specific things here? Because the logistics getting there is, like, I think a no-brainer, yeah, like, it's, like, how we're going to, we're going to have to, like, figure some sort of better propulsion shit, you know, for that one, mainly. Like, at least, well, I mean, not necessarily that, but, just, you know, a few things. The potential justification, I mean, I think that one could be kind of self-explanatory. The practical problems of living on Mars, well, I mean, depending if we have, like, eco domes, or if we are trying to do the fucking terraforming idea. I mean, if we have, like, eco-domes or some shit where we can have, like, an ecosystem in these artificial ecosystems in, like, domes or something like that, or some shit, like greenhouses and stuff. I mean, like, that could probably at least temporarily, you know, get past some of that shit. Psychological effects on colonists, well, we're not really gonna know that until we have people doing that, so I guess that's kind of out in the open, I suppose. Fucking terraforming. I mean, honestly, to really figure that technology out, considering climate change now, I mean, honestly, what better time to fucking start researching that shit just for our own planet than now? Like, I mean, honestly, we kind of need to terraform our planet to be reverting back to some shit, more so than trying to make it more habitable like Mars or something. Like, I mean, so the idea of researching terraforming technology actually is not, like, out of the ordinary for me. Like, if anything, we should probably start researching this shit and at rapid pace, just for our own planet and for our own survivability here. Better alternatives to Mars. I mean, okay, in our own solar system, what the fuck would that be? The moon. Like, mystery point, code name, absolute train wreck. We should use it on Earth, not Mars. When it comes to terraforming, that's what I'm saying. Like, we should use, like, whatever types of research and development when it comes to terraforming, like, on our own planet. And not just terraforming deserts, but also terraforming a lot of places that have been degraded due to fucking climate change. Like, I mean, there's a lot of ways that we can use terraforming for our own planet. Like, if we're going to try to research this technology, we need to do it for our own fucking planet before we start doing it for places like Mars. Because if we're going to try to see if this shit works when it comes to terraforming, then we need to do it on our own planet first to see if, you know, what shit works. And then we at least have, you know, something to work with to try to do that on our planets once we get our shit together here on our own planet when it comes to that. So we need to at least, you know, get our own type of things, you know, worked out before we can even remotely start with that. And even then, yeah, it would take about like 20,000 something years. It's just not, yeah, it's just not necessarily a real solution. That's why, like, ecodomes and, like, weird, like, greenhouse gas style, like, you know, buildings and shit like that would be more likely. With, like, very thick-ass glass to where you can maybe see outside and shit like that. But you wouldn't be able to live in the environment on Mars outside of those buildings without some sort of specialized suit. Not necessarily like an astronaut suit, but you'll definitely need something. A fucking systems dome, Lamau. No, seriously. Like, honestly. I mean, like, if you look at, like, 1970s and 1980s and, like, 1960s science fiction art renditions of, like, what people thought about, like, you know, what people will be colonizing and shit when it comes to different planets in science fiction. Like, I mean, straight up, like, a lot of ecosystems and a lot of colonies or a lot of, like, human-based habitats have these, like, crazy-ass, like, see-through glass domes of, like, the human inhabitants on some fucking planet or some asteroid or whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, that's not necessarily a new thing that The Simpsons did. They just kind of took a lot of that from a lot of that type of shit. On top of, like, well, I mean, a couple other things, especially for the, you know, movie, but nonetheless, it's not a unique thing either, but still. Am I gonna be a weird dude and strangely, like, be, like, half-assedly a devil's advocate? Not because of Musk, but at least for the broader futurist, you know, ideas and stuff. The more optimistic futurism worldview, I guess. 10 weeks worth of food and reserves. 10 weeks? Oh, boy. Well, back to work. Intel's been kicking our asses lately. Oof. Well, good luck, buddy.
Is hard enough on Earth, but thankfully, Fabulous is an app that can help you do just that. The sponsor of today's video, Fabulous...
Okay, we're definitely gonna have to skip the sponsor real quick. I nominate Elon and Jefferson to fuck off to Mars already. Yeah, we'll let them be the first ones to see what the psychological effects will be colonizing Mars. So really bad, I'm so dropped off news here and we'll start starving death by the millions. Definitely optimistic with it.
Problem number 1. The logistics of getting there. The average distance between Earth and Mars is about 230 million kilometers. It's average because the distance constantly varies. Earth and Mars don't orbit the Sun at the same speed, so you can't just launch a spacecraft willy-nilly. You have to time it right in a so-called launch window, so the trip is as short as possible. This launch window is about 30 days, occurring every 26 months. Launching in this window means that the trip to Mars will only take 7 to 9 months. The logistical implications of this are, of course, pretty
So it's even longer than I thought. 7 to 9 months? I honestly thought it was more like 3 to 5 or something like that. So even longer than I thought.
Fails for whatever reason, you're potentially looking at a more than 2-year delay of supplies. Not to mention the risk of something going wrong during a landing. Now, recently the rate of failure for Mars missions seems to be lower, but compared to a Mars colony, those are very simple missions where you aren't trying to land years worth of supplies or actual colonists. For me, this would mean sending twice or even 3 times the amount of needed supplies at the same time for a Mars colony, with separate transportation, just in case 1 or even 2 of them crash lands or something. Of course, cargo can stay in space for longer, so I can imagine you could also pre-launch a whole lot of cargo ships, even outside of the launch window, in a way that they would reach Mars at predetermined times. But this is still suboptimal. Unmanned missions can afford the risk of failure, manned missions cannot. Nothing can go wrong, which means lots of fail-safes, lots of backup, consequently the costs will be horrendous. And
we've only scratched the surface on what reduced gravity does to our bodies. Well, let's say that we have like multiple, like let's say hypothetically that, you know, a Mars colony succeeds in like somewhat like the near future. And because of that, there's like multiple generations that, you know, come from that. I mean, because of that, there definitely would be just different adaptations and evolutionary changes that would most absolutely certainly happen because of that. If anything, they would probably be more lanky, and because I think the gravity on Mars is a little less than Earth's, if I remember correctly. Not by too much, but a little bit. So it's got a lighter gravity, if I remember correctly. So because of that, you know, like the Martian colonists will essentially be probably more lanky and probably more spindly in comparison to Earthlings, essentially. But that's on a scale of thousands of millions of years. Well, I mean, if we have something that, you know, is a very rapid impact, such as being on another fucking planet, I mean, a lot of that type of stuff is a lot of type of evolutionary factors and changes will happen at a little bit more of a rapid pace. Just because, I mean, you know, especially if you're an infant growing on Mars versus Earth, I mean, you're gonna develop, you know, significantly differently in comparison to the Earth baby. Though I suppose that, I mean, we won't necessarily know how much, you know, that will play a role. We're all really fucked up people. Well, I mean, not necessarily. They just will look very different in comparison to us because they're more Martian people versus, you know, Earthling people, basically. And they definitely, you know, probably would, you know, fare less in comparison to Earth living on here, you know, if they were born on Mars, so to speak. So, I mean, there will essentially be kind of like 2 different types of, you know, like, you know, people evolution, not necessarily like, at least in short term evolutionary, but like, you know, at least when it comes to adaptations to the different environments that they're exposed to. Evolved versions of us in the distant future. I am, but I was referring to the original first generations that go there. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just like, the more, like, the longer the generations go, you know, as it becomes hundreds into thousands of years, the more those generations will adapt. But yeah, like the first couple of generations, yeah, they're probably going to be, you know, maybe fucked up a little bit. You know, there might be some different, you know, adaptations and changes and mutations that we're not, you know, aware of. That, you know, I mean, because obviously I'm having probably a little bit more of an optimistic kind of view about it. But, I mean, you know, like, or at least being assumptionary about it. But there definitely is, you know, going to be, you know, a lot of, yeah, there's going to be a lot of unknowns that are going to be, you know, at play that we don't really know about. Because it's something that we haven't explored yet, quite yet. It's one of those mysteries of the universes that we haven't really quite discovered. But at least for me, I guess it's one that I'm kind of interested to see, which is, I guess, why I'm a little interested in, hopeful that we can have technology to where we could potentially, you know, have a habitation on Mars. Maybe not necessarily shit like terraforming, but having like some sort of established, like, you know, thing there. But I mean, I don't see it being like terraforming it. I mean, eventually, if we do get that technology, I see it definitely more so being used on our own planet. And once we kind of harness it more so for our own planet, we'll definitely have the technology, at least on a basic level, harnessed to where we could at least do the basic groundwork to potentially start doing that on other planets like Mars. And then, like, if humanity goes on long enough, we could even see, you know, potentially 2 habitable worlds for ourselves. and thus become potentially something even, you know, greater than just in our own solar system. And that's just being beyond optimistic and hyper futuristic and shit. So I mean, you know, but you know, hey, one can dream. That's why I kind of like wish I was either born like a couple hundred years in the future or 100 years in the past. Like, cause either way, like, it, you know, it's like, if it was a few hundred years in the future, it would be on like the basic groundwork of like this type of shit I'm talking about, maybe. And if it was a few hundred years in the past, and there would be like a lot of cool different like fluctuated, you know, changes and very impactful things in history that I could have been a part of and stuff. So I mean, it's just like, man, we're just in this weird fucking, well, you know, I guess we're also in one of those weird like fluctuative, like, you know, things can happen at any moment's notice in history type things. And it's not the first time, you know, like I said, playing different times, you know. So I don't know, I guess we are in one of those right now. Once we're in the past super ages, yeah. Seriously, yeah. We're in a very like kind of fluctuative like pinnacle point in human history right now, where like we basically have like a, at least in my mind, I see like a weird blend of like the 1800s and like the early 1900s a little bit. Like I see like the mid 1850s and like the early 1900s like kind of blended in some weird like lingo jingle fucking weird anomaly. Or it's like, you know, like the current presidency is basically like the equivalent of a goddamn Buchanan. And, you know, a lot of like Weimar Republic-esque things are kind of like happening. And it's like, ugh. We have like this weird blend that I really don't like. I wonder who the Frederick Douglasses and, you know, and the Rosa Luxemburg and shit like that would be, though. I'm sure they're out there, though. More of them need to make their name. I know we at least know one of them, Chris Smalls. He's definitely one of them out there. But, anyway, we're getting a little far afield, though. Mars.
Take a look at the potential justifications for a Mars colony. And the problem is...
Okay, I feel like I'm going to defend this one a lot.
There are none. Discounting vagaries like...
None? Okay, alright, right off the bat. Okay, like, I mean, just on the virtue of, like, the... If we have the technology to have possible habitation, I'm not saying, like, you know, terraforming, but, like, you know, like, some sort... Like, the equivalent, like, you know, like, a little, like, greenhouse environment where humans can at least be a part of and live in. Like... If there's at least a remote chance to where, like, humanity can kind of keep going on, you know, instead of on an ape planet that is literally destroying it's like, I mean, I feel like that in itself is, like, you know, a justification to take the gamble on. I mean, so, like, right off the bat, okay, let's
for
see.
the ATIQ lower on Mars, currently we have absolutely no reason to be there in person. There are no valuables to extract in large quantities, but even if there were, shipping them back to Earth would make it the most unprofitable venture in human history. In terms of science, there is not much human...
I mean, the idea, if there's colonists going there, the idea is that it's a one-way ticket. So... like, who says we're bringing them back?
Mars is a rock desert.
I mean, honestly, no, I guess outside of Musk, no one's outright proposed or even put, like, forth an idea about this quite yet. I mean, I guess it has been a thing for a while, like, an idea, but, like, it's not, like, something that's going to, like, no one's organized as, like, yep, we're about to do this. Like, I mean, it's not quite organized as a thing. Like, no one's volunteered, you know, to be like, I will be a colonist and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's not, like, that fledged out, so we don't, you know, like... I mean, we don't even know if we're, you know, gonna, you know, have a plan or some system set up where we are bringing people back or not. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I want to see a moment where we reunite with a probe that we indeed landed on Mars or the moon. Be like, oh, hey, what's up, probe dude? I mean, that'd be pretty dope. Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, honestly, I mean, that'd definitely be pretty cool to see a little bit. I mean, there's, like, I could think of at least a couple of justifications. I mean, hell, like, I mean, us going on the moon, like, the justification was because, hey, we're trying to beat the Soviet Union because they beat us to space, and we're gonna say, fuck you, we're getting to the moon, bitch. And, well, we did. You know, so it's just like, I mean, it's kind of a dumb justification, but look what the technological advancement came from doing that, you know, from that justification, though. So it's just like, I mean, honestly, like, the justification might be kind of dumb, but honestly, like, some of the technological advancement that could come from them type of shit, you know, like, into research development, I don't know. Like, that's why I think this, you know, the whole, like, justification to Mars, I think is the one I'm willing to defend the most, is because, I mean, going to the moon and putting people on the moon was, like, frankly, a very dumb, absurd fucking justification, but, well, look what the results of it were, though, you know, in long run. So, I mean, I don't know, does it really matter that much? Like, the justification part doesn't really matter that much to me, really. We'll probably fence it off and become a tourist trap someday like Stonehenge. Oh my fucking god. Oh no. You have like some Bezos, like, Mars mansion that, like, overlooks it. Just looking at all the, you know, like, plebeian, well, the upper class plebeians are like, oh, well, they can't explore all of Mars like I can, but they can have this little squared off area. It's like, oh god, dude. Oh no. It's bad enough that they're getting space yachts. Now they get space mansions
Now,
on Mars.
overpopulation and escaping climate change are reasons people sometimes bring up in favor of colonizing Mars.
Which, honestly, at least for the climate change thing, I think is a legitimate thing, but the overpopulation thing, I think is silly. Like, the idea that Mars is going to somehow solve overpopulation is pretty fucking silly. Like, I mean, I think overpopulation is kind of a issue that, you know, at least to a degree, but it's not necessarily because, oh, people just fuck. I mean, that's a part of it, but, I mean, I think there's a lot more to it than that, but, I mean, if anything, like, honestly, if there is a legit reason out of those two, it's the climate change part. Because if, like, we have at least technology to possibly have, you know, people at least have habitats on Mars, that at least has a possibility to, you know, at least, you know, let humanity keep going. Even if this planet becomes uninhabitable for us, then at least we have habitats on Mars that could continue forth a little bit and at least, you know, see if they can make it, you know, and maybe, you know, do something with it or some shit, who knows. I mean, it'd be a very hard gamble at that point, but hey, at least one that I guess would be, you know, worth the chance, I suppose, but still.
Stupid. First off,
Something.
with appropriate planning and technology, Earth can support vastly more people. Overpopulation...
If we change key things about our abuse of the planet, Earth could support more than we do now. I mean, yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, I kind of question it a little bit, to be honest, but, I mean, yeah, I mean, I can see it, though. Yeah, like, if we significantly basically didn't have capitalism as a system, you know, if we basically, you know, improved a lot about how we, you know, looked at our own planet and changed how our entire system was from the ground up in a lot of ways, and especially when it came to the abuses on the planet and shit, yeah, we definitely could probably hold, you know, significantly a lot more people, but... Yeah, we, you know, like, I mean, it's just, I mean, I just kind of question just because of how, like, humanity is, like, you know, considering how fallible we are. That's why I think, you know, maybe it's just, like, we're going to start, you know, like, looking at the future and the health of our own planet, you know, and just be like, oh, yes, let's make it so we can have more people on here. It's just like, people are just going to have more people on here whether they care or not, and... If that's going to be the case, I'd rather just, you know, people be like, alright, well, look at State Fairs, and do you really want to have kids here? Yeah, not happen. Well, yeah. I never see us all of a sudden years scanning about the planet's health for sure. All petrochemical, multinational, Spain, etc. Yeah. I mean, I will say this though, I mean, I think more and more people, today than ever are, like, at least on that bandwagon of, like, yeah, you know, like, fuck the petrochemical multinationals and these underclass motherfuckers and shit that are, you know, harming the planet. But, need a little more. Just a little bit more.
current wasteful space use and inefficient food production. If we fixed those with the magic of science, overpopulation would stop being a problem. If you expanded the population density of the Netherlands to the planet's entire land surface, you could, theoretically, house 75 billion people. Or even if we take half of that, that's still 38 billion, about 5 times the Earth's current population. But if you insist on decreasing the Earth's population through a Mars colony, realistically, you'll have decreased it by about 50, and it only costs you $40 billion per person. So if you want to affect the overpopulation problem, instead of assembling a colonization mission to Mars, you would achieve more by bulk ordering condoms and handing them out on a street corner for free. As for climate change, people...
I mean, honestly, yes. That's why even I, when I think overpopulation is kind of an issue, at least right now with our current system, like, that's not even remotely fucking close. In fact, pretty laughable as a joke of an idea to be like, hey, we'll solve overpopulation by colonizing Mars. It's like, I would laugh you out of the room. It's like, no, like, have more proper sex education, globally, and have more accessibility to things like condoms and shit like that, and more, more women's rights for things like accessibility to abortion, blah, 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 like, just the whole nine. I mean, it's like, that's how you can solve it, and if anything, encourage, that, in society and stuff, but not like, let's go to Mars. Until billionaire classified trash system we had, albeit far from virtual, was better than we are now. I mean, in a lot of ways, sure. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say, I wouldn't necessarily say it wasn't a problem. But yeah, the billionaire classified trash system that we had, but also convince a lot of people that, like, hey, the more kids that you have, then the better it is, in a lot of ways. Depending on, like, the whole pro-life argument and all this other type of shit. Because essentially that just means more workers for the billionaire class, and that means more money in their pockets, because also those type of people have to buy their products. So I mean, it just benefits them in the long run too. That's why there's so many fucking owner class types that will lobby for both sides of the aisle, whether Republican and Democrat and shit, because they know a lot of Republicans will be on that pro-life type of shit, where they want, their type of people, pump kids left and right and shit. But of course, they'll virtue for things like LGBT issues and shit, like this Quayle guy. Like the one that's at least very openly pro-life and shit. And the entire, at least Pelosi and a lot of the backing of the DNC will just, prop him up. But it's like, also virtue things like the LGBT issues and other social rights and shit like that, to make sure that, they got their side and stuff. But it all leads up, to a lot of these type of problems where it's just like, it just continues this, reciprocal type of cycle. Billionaire class continues to make more and more of the money and shit. People like Musk, as well. He's a part of it. Which is why it benefits him in a lot of ways. Which, at least to me, is why, at least I look at overpopulation as an issue. It's more of a benefit to them, more so than anyone else. Not to the planet, or to us, the society, or anything. I mean, it's not that I don't think having kids is the issue. It's just that, like, I mean, systemically, I mean, we're not necessarily doing ourselves favors by having a lot of them around. It's like, don't got an issue, people having them, but, I mean, just, make the choice wisely, at least, if you really truly consider it, though. Staying back a bit, history's been shown to go in cycles. Yeah. And we're just kind of in a cycle where we're starting to kind of see society fight back a little bit, and now all these different things are starting to ramp up a little bit. And a lot of people, definitely will go to these very major extremes too, like we have been seeing with these last few horrible events. Those are definitely unjustifiable, 100%. But there's, always a major root to the issue of it. And it's just, the continuation of these type of issues. Because, I mean, like, honestly, people won't necessarily feel so mentally distraught if it wasn't, for the lack of their own, social mobility and, comfortability in their just social strata. I'm just happy that I have, like, the friend group that I have, and Zukov, and a few other, and a couple other little things that I at least have an outlet for, but, like, there's too many people that just don't got that type of shit. And then either they kind of, you know, do things to their own selves that, you know, where it's just a harm to themselves, or they will enact, you know, harm to our society and towards other people. Even though they had fuck all to do with, you know, their own selves and shit. But, I mean, honestly, like, I bet if we looked back in kind of history and looked at every tiny little detail and shit, I'm sure, like, you know, if we looked at, like, the French Revolution era, the Great Depression, you know, like, the Weimar Park era, like, I'm sure there was, like, random people that just enacted random acts of violence and shit, too. On top of just mass suicide rates and on top of other shit. Like, I mean, I don't know how much, you know, data or information there really would be out of, you know, those type of, you know, events or type of, you know, times of history, but I'm sure they are there. In some ways, I don't necessarily think it's coincidental that we're seeing such a rise in this type of shit, you know, while things are degrading so much. Desperation makes people do desperate things. Exactly. And that's why we see a lot of desperate people get swindled up into things that, you know, sound good on the surface of it. Hence why I think it's so, like, why I feel like there's such this weird combination of, like, you know, the pre-Civil War era with, like, Buchanan and shit, and then, like, the Weimar Republic, you know, with pre-Nazi era and shit. You know, it's just like, it kind of feels like such a weird blend of the two that I really don't like it. Because we're seeing, you know, because the desperation that came out of both of those eras of history and shit are kind of creeping up in a very modern way that really is not good. But at the same time, I'm also seeing, like, a little bit of, you know, flares and sparklings of things like, you know, the labor movement during, like, the 20s and the 1880s and 90s and shit, too. So it's not like it's all fucking, you know, downhill, so to speak. But, I mean, it's kind of a back and forth with it. And it was during those eras of history, too. I guess maybe not so much during the Buchanan era, but definitely very much so afterwards. Like during the Reconstruction era and shit. Which is what, you know, the era of, like, the 1880s and the 1890s and shit like that led up to. With, like, the Lawrence strikes, the fucking, you know, the Haymarket Affair, and stuff like that. So, I mean, all, you know, like, if anything, the lacklusterness of the Reconstruction era and shit kind of led up to a lot of that type of stuff, too. So, I mean, I like, honestly, at least especially when it comes to certain aspects of history, I'm seeing a lot of correlations and repeatments that it's like, I guess in some ways are good, but in a lot of ways we're like, okay, oh god, we're not going down the right, you know, path towards history here and shit. Especially if that, like, CPAC Hungary event thing, oh my god, like, hearing the details about that shit was fucking, like, terrifying as fuck. Because it was more like a fractionally globalized thing back in, like, the 30s and 40s, but more compatible, but oh god. Cringe as fuck, yeah. Not just cringe as fuck, but just overtly fascistic as fuck. And knowing so many American politicians and, like, media heads and motherfuckers and shit like that were there is hyper disconcerting. It's just like, uh-oh. And they were taking notes and making sure that, you know, there's like, alright, we'll make sure that we, you know, get this type of stuff done. Saying things like, oh yes, we need a media that's, like, pretty much, like the dogmatic, you know, voice of our own, you know, type of agenda and blah 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 and all this other shit. It's, oh my god. The list can just go on with, like, the crazy shit that they were, you know, saying over there. Because they pretty much have, like, if not just fascistic, a borderline fascistic government with Viktor Orban right now. Which I guess, unfortunately, Hungary is not exactly, you know, old with. I mean, even during World War II, it kind of was a little bit more friendly with Hitler because they put in a little puppet regime there, so... It's like, I guess some remnants of that shit, you know, decided to stick around and they're back. So, yay. Just shows how much of an international global issue it is. remnants of that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, it kind of shows just in general how, like, Europe in a lot of ways still does. Like, Germany, I mean, Germany definitely does a lot more underground because it's a lot harder to be just very vocal about that. Which, I guess not, you know, for not, obviously. You know, probably for a good reason. You know, justifiably, at least. But, you know, because of that, some other countries like Poland, Hungary, there's like a few other countries that, you know, over time have actually kind of been a little bit more accepting over time and shit, just because they don't have as stringent laws and, you know, don't crack down as hard about that type of shit. So now we've, you know, especially in like the last like 10 years, honestly, because I remember like between like 2013 to 17 and shit, like, I remember one video where there was like some journalists that purposely like knocked over a bunch of migrants by tripping them and shit on the Hungarian border, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it was some Hungarian journalist or some shit. I remember this like years back, but I was just like, I remember looking at it and I was just like, what the fuck? It's like, huh? Like, you're a journalist, but you literally are just like, nah, like, fuck you, I'm just gonna like trip one of you. And there was like video of it too. Like, it was obviously showing her like tripping like one person, but thus did a domino effect to knocking like 5 people over. It was just like, oh my god, what a fucking bitch. Like, what a horrible bitch, dude. Like, what the fuck. But evidently, I guess that's kind of gotten worse a little bit. It's like, oh. It's like, oof. I think I haven't really gotten very far afield from the whole Musk video, but here. Let's get back into it, though.
Like Mars would be humanity's plan B in case of a climate.
We're in like a Son Piker right now, where we just like devolve into like a totally different topic for like an hour or some shit.
By humanity, Elon actually means the select few, aka the top 1%. What, you thought you would be on the evacuation?
Yeah, only positive time so far, lol, sorry for the derailments. No, it's all good. I mean, hey, you know, I'm fine with it. But, if anything, actually, like, you know, what Adam Something's saying is actually, like, fucking true. Like, especially when it comes to, oh, we gotta save humanity. Oh, like, he definitely means the top. Like, all these, like, you know, rich people that, you know, talk about this stuff mean that. At least when, you know, someone like me advocates for it, I literally just mean humanity. Like, if anything, I wouldn't mind, like, if, hey, like, if you want to apply for, like, the lottery to potentially become a colonist, just sign up for it, and literally, like, anyone could do that. And, you know, it's like, if you pop up for it, then there you go. And you could literally be, like, Joe Schmo Bo from Alabama or something like that, or, like, Dave McGray or something like that from Oregon, and, you know, hey, like, bada bing, bada boom, if you sign up for the lottery, you have a chance, you know, it's like, depending, you know, the more people, I mean, the lesser the, like, the more riskier the odds of maybe or maybe not getting it or some shit, you know, or whatever the fuck. It should be something like that, or something. Musk adjust monocle. Adjust monocle. I should start in a new civilization. Oh. Have the new 1% be the plebeians and the bottom 50% for me. Oh god, you know, oh my god, what a vampire bastard motherfucker.
We can put together a city-sized, functional colony on Mars, and we can evacuate, say, 1 million people via rockets.
Okay, I love how every time he brings this picture back, it gets bigger.
Those seats will be distributed based on leverage. You will be on the rocket if you can buy, lobby, or otherwise force your way onto it. And while there are only a few thousand...
I like the force your way onto it. I like that.
Out there are plenty of millionaires to go around, more than willing to escape the planet in case of a global catastrophe. Humanity's so-called Plan B in case of a climate disaster on Earth would just be a rescue operation for the planet's ruling class, nothing more. But even if the ruling class or anyone else made it there, soon the harsh reality would start setting in. Namely, the problems with living on Mars. Mars is a kind of orange hell for human beings, with a wide range of dying opportunities available to you. Martian atmospheric pressure is less than 1% that of Earth, which means a very thin atmosphere, which means harmful solar radiation and micrometeorites.
Definitely all very major issues. From what I understand, like, because it is 0.4% less of the atmosphere of Earth, like, you it's pretty much like, you know, you essentially would need like, you know, the equivalent of like, you know, like Mount Everest, like mountain gear, you know, like oxygen tank shit, or like scuba diving, you know, oxygen tank shit. Like, hypothetically, you could, if you had like a specialized suit for the solar radiation, and you know, and depending on if there's like a heightened, yeah, the weather systems, you know, would be like, you know, today's weather looks like micrometeorites are at a 10% chance today. You know, it would be some shit like that, you know. So, like, when it comes to that, like, you have a, you know, like, if there's a chance of micrometeorites, you're probably ain't gonna go outside in your specialized suit, because no matter what, if a micrometeorite hits you, you're fucked. So, you know, you're pretty much like, you know, you're just done. You know, like a micrometeorite hits you, you know, you're murked. If it hits you, like, I guess in an appendage or something, you might be okay, but either way, you're just, yeah, you're fucked. But Zukoff, hey, oh my god, bro.
Come on, chill out, dog.
But yeah, if like, you know, the local weather news, you know, if the local news weather, you know, on Mars happens to say you have like a 10 to 0% chance of micrometeorite showers, it might be a good day to go in your specialized radiation suits, you know, and go explore Mars for a little bit. Pick up some Martian rocks, blah, 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 or whatever the fuck, you know? Like, I mean, I can imagine when, you know, depending on if we are able to establish something like that on Mars, and obviously this is all hypothetical, like, I mean, yeah, I could probably see something where it's like, you know, you could potentially circumnavigate shit like that and make it practical, but, I mean, I don't know, like, again, we're just, like, we don't know, we haven't been up there yet, so, and we haven't established anything like this. We'd just be gambling and just kind of like sticking our thumb up our ass and hope for the best. Even if we did all the best things.
On Earth, the coldest temperature ever recorded was minus 89 Celsius, measured in the Arctic. On Mars, temperatures often go below minus 120. Even if you have a warm period, the thin atmosphere just won't retain any heat. Mars's outer core is also frozen solid, meaning no dynamo effect, meaning no magnetic shield, meaning hazardous levels of cosmic radiation. Even if you dig in to avoid said radiation, colonists will be exposed to higher than average rates for the rest of their lives. That means after some years, rates of cancer will be through the roof. In addition, gravity is 1/3 that of Earth.
So basically that would imply, like, hence like the whole like weird Simpson dome thing that, you know, Stefan was moving about. Like, it would have to be more like an enclosed habitat type of thing that's, you know, that can bounce off the radiation shit. And maybe like have like heavier gravity things or some shit, but I don't know. Like, there definitely have to be technology in place that we just simply don't have yet that would have to, like, you know, do something about that. You have to be in a hardened facility, yep, of some sort. And that's why you would, and the whole specialized suit thing would have to be like, you know, some shit that we just don't have yet. Like, you know, we would have to eventually, you know, which I imagine, you know, if the hypothetical, you know, mindset of like actually safely potentially colonizing Mars, we probably would, but like having like a radiation safe type of like, or at least more heavily radiation resistant type of specialized suit that you can have on Mars or something like that, it could potentially, you know, see the ability to maybe, or at least, you know, in short period, oh god, I have hiccups, god damn it, at least in short periods of time, you know, be able to explore Mars and shit. But it basically be like in an irradiated area. You can only be there for a certain amount of time, depending on how strong radiation is pumping, you know, at any given time, and, you know, like how warm or cold it is, I guess, for you weather-wise and temperature. But also of, like, you know, with different weather conditions, amongst other shit. Like, honestly, it's just like, you know, you would have to consider so many different fucking things that obviously on Earth that we're naturally adapted to. Just, you know, we don't normally have to. So you have to basically think about a lot of extra shit, and basically your mind would be on so many other things that would you even be able to enjoy the natural, like, damn, look at the beauty of Mars, you know, seeing that, you know, for your own eyeballs. Like, I'll be looking up being like, is there meteor showers going on? I don't see none, I think I'm safe. You know, it's like, oh shit, you know, is radiation too hard? Let me look at my Geiger counter. It's just like, I mean, you know, I just like, nah, I'd rather just like kind of chill, you know what I mean?
heavy things and bound around, thanks for the tape, Elon, there's no telling what health problems low gravity would cause. The longest stay in microgravity so far is less than a year. Beyond that, we can only extrapolate. How would the low gravity of Mars affect pregnancies, or your cardiovascular system? Who wants to be the first lucky one to find out? In light of these dangers, as far as I can tell, pretty CGI and sleek domes on the Martian surface are...
I mean, I guess when it comes to low gravity, why don't we just have, like, you know, somebody on the ISS just, like, you know, or maybe, I guess, you know, like, have a contract, you know, signed up for their time to basically, you know, like, hey, I'll be up here for, like, 5 years or something like that, just, you know, for the study of see what low gravity, you know, has an effect on humans. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like, if you know, especially if we're only scratching the surface about what we know about, you know, low gravity and its impact on people, I mean, we have the ISS, at least we have some sort of a basis to figure out, you know, what it can do on a somewhat longer term basis, even if it's like 5 years. We can kind of at least extrapolate from there, at least to some degree. Like, a little less than a year, I mean, kind of, but not really enough time to really truly know for sure, you know, about what could happen. But 5 years will at least give us a little bit of a time frame. We discovered that simply spending an hour at the gym experiencing Earth level gravity as some sort of a centrifuge would keep our bodies in shape. Yeah, I can see something like that as well. Yeah. I mean, there's like exercises and different things that I know people on the ISS do, you know, despite being in zero gravity and shit. You know, so, you know, I think honestly they're not necessarily in outright zero gravity. I think they have like a very, very tiny little bit of gravity because of like Earth's gravitational pull. But it's just like something that just they don't notice because the station itself is also experiencing it too. So it's essentially like they aren't experiencing it anyway. But I mean, it's just a weird mathematics in it that I just don't understand. So the other day, the ISS inhabitants have to work like 2+ hours a day. Work out like 2+ hours. Jesus, or they're guaranteed to suffer from wasting. Ooh, damn. Well, we know that much. So, I guess when it comes to colonists, at least on the way up there, they would have to do that. Now, for, you know, considering that I know Mars's gravity is not like, you know, it's got like a gravity, but it's definitely low gravity in comparison to Earth's. So, I mean, they would definitely have to have some sort of a regimen in place and have to seriously keep up with it in order to, you know, not, you know, suffer from wasting and shit like you're talking about. It wouldn't necessarily be like, you know, the moon or the ISS, but they would have to have a higher, you know, tendency to incentive to, you know, exercise and make sure they have their cardiovascular systems all good and shit like that. Basically, people that actually give a fuck about their health. So, essentially, people who aren't Americans. Not horrible. It's not like moon gravity or something. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if anything, there's actually like some habitable planets that even have a heavier gravity than our own planet. So it's like, if we have the technology to get to those planets, like honestly, like colonizing those might even be a better opportunity because we wouldn't necessarily have to work out as much because they have heavier gravities. Just us being there would be a workout. So we can send Americans to that planet.
Unless you're planning on dying. But if you aren't, your only option is to dig in and live the rest of your life in a Martian underground bunker, only coming out occasionally when there isn't a solar flare, blanketing the surface with dangerous levels of radiation. The wide variety of lethal dangers, plus being...
Or just have a thick, big-ass fucking habitat or some shit on the surface of it. I mean, that works too.
Underground bunker with dozens of others for the rest of your life will surely do wonders for your mental health, by the way. And let's talk about that, the psychological effects on colonists. Now, some people might say we cannot tell for certain what the mental health effects on the colonists would be because there is simply no such precedent, and they would be wrong.
Yeah, it's called the Vaults, you know, from Vault-Tec by Fallout.
Look at that. We absolutely...
Just look at how all the people survived in that shit.
a precedent, and it's not looking too good. Consider this Quartz article titled, "It's completely ridiculous to think that humans could live on Mars." In this article, there's a useful snippet we will now read together. Despite having a completely breathable atmosphere and plenty of fresh water, Antarctica has no permanent residents. Nobody wants to live there. Scientists who work at Arctic bases suffer from a mental health disorder called winter over syndrome, characterized by symptoms such as depression, irritability, aggressive behavior, insomnia, memory deficits, and the occurrence of mild fugue states known as the Antarctic stare. Since it must be a bit like living with a colony of zombies, it's no wonder that they want to stay drunk all winter. Imagine this, but without the atmosphere outside, plus all the deadly hazards, the thought...
I actually remember listening to a podcast a while back, years back. I think it might have been a Non Sequitur show, before it got fucked up by one of the hosts, and there was a big lawsuit about it or some shit. Anyway, digressing from that. I think they actually did an interview with somebody who worked as a scientist in Antarctica. And yeah, and honestly, when it comes to their pastime, they do a lot of drinking. Yeah, that part is definitely true. Because yeah, living in somewhere like Antarctica, it might be fun for like a week, but beyond that, it's gonna fucking suck ass. And even then for a week, like, you'd get sick of it pretty quick. Like, being there for a few days would probably be cool to be in Antarctica, but, I mean, beyond that, it'd probably suck ass. So, yeah.
Again,
not sure about that.
Your lives are constantly on a knife's edge because if your life support systems fail, there won't be any rescue operations. In such conditions, all colonists will be varying degrees of insane after a month. If just one of them starts a fire, sabotages the life support system, or opens the airlock, everyone will be dead. Now, these mental health problems are caused by Mars being Mars, a hazardous rock desert.
Mars being Mars.
Turn this
no shit.
To Earth 2.0.
Mars is indeed Mars. Yes.
Let's talk about fucking terraforming. Okay, first off, let's get the...
Oh my god, he sounds just very... he just sounds just, like, tired and just like, ugh. Man, do a lot of people really, like, get at him for that? Because even I, like, understand that terraforming is not necessarily, like... And even if we are going to prioritize that technology and try to research and develop it, like I think we probably should... We need to probably do that for our own fucking planet. Like, you know, instead... like, I mean, and once we get that shit figured out and we can harness it a little bit, then we could probably start worrying about other places, but let's focus here first with that type of shit. It's like, come on now.
And terraforming Mars is fucking magic. We do not have the resources or technology to terraform a planet, despite what Elon Musk would want you to believe. That's more of that Marvel effect, I guess. From the SpaceX website. It's a little cold, but we can warm it up. Presumably Elon will press the magic big brain...
How in the fuck will you warm Mars up, you fuck... Oh my god. What, put a bunch of oil rigs on and hope for the best? Is that what the fuck you're gonna do? Like, I mean, what the fuck do you think you're gonna do to warm that son of a bitch up? Oh my god. What? I can't believe these people actually take this son of a bitch seriously. Yeah, you know, it's a cold planet, but we can warm that son of a bitch up, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what? What? Elaborate, Musk. I wonder, are we gonna know?
Will just get warmer. The number one thing you would need to do on Mars is to create an atmosphere. But, according to NASA, if you combine all sources of greenhouse gases on Mars, you would end up with an atmosphere 6.9% that of Earth, 93.1% short of your goal. Nuking the Martian ice caps, as suggested by countless Reddit and Twitter experts, would...
So basically you would need at least something to artificially put in its place to put something like that. Which is why you would probably need to figure out this technology on our own planet before you do this on Mars. Because I'm sure we probably, hypothetically, could figure this shit out. But we need to try to figure that out on our own planet when it comes to shit like this. Especially when it comes to atmospheric terraforming. So, like, I mean, the best way to do that is try to figure that out on our own planet. And once we can figure that shit and harness it and master it on our own planet, then maybe we could, you know, start having a conversation about the Martian atmosphere. Oh my god. Like, we're putting the cart before the horse here, y'all. Like, what is this? Like, this is absurd.
2% of Earth's atmosphere. Without an Earth-like atmosphere, there is not much else you can do, and this would only be the first hurdle to overcome.
And we're already destroying our like atmosphere as it is. It's why, you know, trying to, you know, master this technology here is pretty important to preserve our Earth-like atmosphere. Thank you very much.
Energy or resources for. Even with our current level of advancement, terraforming to us is like traffic engineering to Elon Musk. Or
I just love how the fucking gamer tunnel pops up with the fucking traffic jam. The one of many traffic jams that has happened in that fucking goddamn absurd stupid tunnel.
Human beings, or not harassing employees sexually. But if that's the case, what else should we do? Let's look at some of the better alternatives to Mars. First off, a simple alternative for all the enthusiasts out there. If you want to try out what it would be like to live on a Mars colony, get together with your enthusiast friends and crowdfund a trip to Antarctica. That should curb all your enthusiasm within a few months. But suppose we are really serious about colonization, and why not? I think it's a good idea. So why not create a colony on the Moon first? The Moon has about 0% atmosphere compared to Mars' 0.6%, so as far as you're concerned, they're essentially the same. You'll have a much nicer view of space and travel time.
I mean, 0.6 and 0 is not essentially the same, but I mean, it's closer.
Instead of 7 to 9 months. If something goes wrong, you can go back to Earth, or at least have a panic module able to sustain you until help arrives. On the Moon, your internet latency is only 2.5 seconds instead of half an hour, and you don't have to deal with the soul-crushing realization that you'll never see your friends and family again. Having a permanent base on the Moon also have actual justifications, like an observatory complex free of atmospheric interference, or a spaceport that could take advantage of the lower gravity, or space tourism facilities for rich assholes, or a massive solar panel installation that can beam back power to Earth, and so on. Some of these ideas are still highly theoretical, others are more feasible, but there is a good chance we'll be seeing at least one of them becoming reality within our lifetime.
I mean, the problem is because the Moon does not have an atmosphere, or basically barely any at all. At least Mars has, like, kind of an atmosphere. But, like, the Moon literally has none. And the reason why it especially has so many fucking, like, holes and craters and shit is because there's no, literally, like, pretty much, like, no atmosphere for any of that to burn up in. So, despite all that, you have a far higher frequency of having, like, meteorite showers and shit like that happen on the fucking surface in comparison to Mars. While Mars might be more smaller pellets, and I guess by proxy a lot more dangerous, like the Moon, you're probably going to have a lot more bigger hunks of rock just like hitting the ground and shit like that, and I don't know, you probably don't want to be near that. So, in a way, the Moon, in some instances, it's kind of a give or take. Like, yeah, a lot of those is definitely true, but it's a lot more dangerous to try to do it, in a sense. I mean, at least more physically, so to speak, because, I mean, you just have a likely higher hood of just something go and just crushing your shit, immediately because of, of a rocket in it, so.
Can't let this whole Mars business go. If a moon colony isn't enough for you, you also want to terraform. Well, I have good news. There is a great opportunity for you to satisfy your scientism-oriented urges. Planet Earth is a great candidate for terraforming. There are...
Yeah. Well, I could have told you that. I have been. But hey, I mean, the moon is at least an option. I mean, I do think it is, at least, it's not impossible. At least I think, as a way to advance more of a technology to colonize, other places. I think it actually is a really great place to do it. Because it's, I mean, in a way, even though it is close, it is a pretty harsh environment. I mean, in a lot of ways, far more harsher than Mars, and because of that, like, if we are able to kind of master having a habitat on Moon, then that means we can at least, have a habitat in, in other, bodies on our own solar system, whether it's Mars, Europa, or anywhere else at that point. I mean, because it's shown if we can at least have something on the Moon, then, with the hazards there, and with everything going on, with that, it's like, then we could definitely do it elsewhere. So, I mean, in a way, at least, I think the Moon is just a better option than Mars right now when it comes to at least having people being more of a permanent resident, so to speak. Because even then, there's at least, an ability to have it back and forth, even if they don't necessarily want to stay there forever. So, I don't know. I mean, at least in a way, like, if there is going to be colonization attempts, the moon is probably just, overall, just a better option. If terraforming, yes, our own planet is obviously better. Like, I mean, yeah.
This planet that are unsuitable for large-scale human habitat.
Like this right here, like, there ain't going to be a disagreement for me.
How about we practice by terraforming the Sahara Desert, and also making sure we don't kill the Amazon rainforest in the process? That would be a great first step, and it would benefit most of everyone. But that doesn't sound sci-fi enough, so Elon Musk will stick talking about Mars, because that's how you maintain the Tesla stock bubble. So as we can see, Mars colony plans are somewhere between complete absurdity and stock manipulation. But there is one last part of this video.
The mystery point.
From Mr.
Yeah, I'm wondering what this one is. The absolute codename Absolute Trainwreck. I wonder what this is about.
One last point to hammer home the true extent of the absurdity of the agitation around colonizing Mars. We need to talk about the lowest common denominator, on par with Nigerian prince email scams and low-effort NFTs. Mars One. Holy shit. And just what is Mars One?
Why are there like white chocolate dots? Like, you know those little dots? Like, these look like they're white chocolate versions of those. Or like the Milk Duds. They're like white chocolate Milk Duds. Why do these just look like Milk Duds, and why do I have an urge to eat them?
Project was announced in 2012. The goal? To establish a permanent colony on Mars by 2025 with volunteers who get a one-way ticket and will live out the rest of their lives on the planet.
You know, hold on. I actually want to read this. 2011, Mars One founded. 2013, start of crew selections. 2015, start of crew training. Demo mission launch. 2020. I doubt that happened. 2022, rover mission launch. 2024, cargo mission launch. So that hasn't. Yeah, okay. 2025, outpost operational. 2026, departure crew 1. 2027, landing crew 1. 2028, departure crew 2. I have a very strong suspicion that they're, like, significantly behind schedule, for one, and for two, that this is probably not even going to happen.
5 with volunteers.
I have a weird feeling that this is going to, like, fizzle out somewhere at the end of this.
One-way ticket and will live out the rest of their lives on the planet. The project was headed by a guy named Bas Lansdorp. And no, that text box wasn't me. I took this picture straight from the official Mars One Twitter. Wow, I remember when other serious organizations like NASA used MS Paint for their promo material. Now you might be asking, who in the name of Jesus Rotary Christ would sign up for this? And the answer is, people who either have nothing to fear or nothing to lose. 200,000 people to be precise. 100 of whom made it to the shortlist. Wife threatens divorce after her husband is considered for one-way trip to space. There is only
oh my god, wow. Wow, dude, when your wife threatens to divorce you because you're like, I want to go to space. Bye, bitch. It's like, damn. Wow, dude, what a dude, what an asshole, dude. She has a dude. She's in the right to divorce that asshole, dude. Oh my god, it's like, yeah, I want a one-way trip into Mars, baby. Yeah, guess what? You and the kids ain't coming. It's like, yeah, I would fucking divorce his ass. Hell yeah, dude, fuck him.
Sullivan being selected to live on Mars as just 24 people will be chosen, but his wife said he did not ask her opinion before completing the application form and said that she could not contemplate leaving her children. However, Mr. Sullivan says he loves his family more than Mars, but also wants to be the first to live on the red planet and make a name for himself.
Oh my god, get the fuck out of here, buddy. Oh, I love my family and my children more, but goddammit, I just want to be on that planet first. It's like, oh yeah, you love that, you love your family more than want to go on that planet. Oh my god, dude, what a prick.
That's one way to get a divorce, I guess.
What a shagbag, dude.
But looking through the list of applicants, their faces don't exactly scream balanced, happy life and healthy psychology. Now, as for the mission timeline of Mars One, well, you can find official but completely contradictory information online. The dates are just all over the place. Go figure. I'll just use the Wikipedia page and one of their official promotion videos. 2014, drafting mission concept studies, requesting proposals from aerospace companies, proof of concept for key technologies required. 2015, reducing applicant pool to 40. The candidate pool was reduced to 100. Okay. 2016, the first COMS satellite and lander to demonstrate key technologies. One initial concept study by Lockheed Martin, lander, and Surrey satellite technology, orbiter, not funded nor designed. 2020... The settlement components are set up on Mars. 2022, crew departure from Earth, and the first colonists would have arrived in 2023, with the second crew arriving by 2025, and by 2031 the colony would reach 20 colonists.
And I also am seeing in 2040, which I'm thinking is the updated timeline, which, yeah, basically confirms their Alabama schedule.
Prince, though, has a story to tell. Former NASA researcher Joseph Roche signed up for selection to help further popularize space science. To his surprise, he ended up on the top 100 shortlist out of 200,000 applicants. The 200,000 figure was a lie.
Go figure. I wonder if he lobbied his way up in that.
Worse, according to Roche, some of the leading contenders had simply bought their way into their positions and were being encouraged to donate appearance fees to Mars One. After passing each filter, applicants received points. The amounts were completely arbitrary, and applicants could get additional points by buying Mars One merchandise and through gifts and donations. Otherwise, Roche, despite being on the top 100 list of prospective Mars colonists, never met anyone from Mars One in person. The original plan was to conduct interviews at set locations and be tested for several days, which then got changed into a 10-minute Skype call. Medical examination for colonizing Mars had to be done by each applicant on their own at their local doctor. Otherwise, applicants had to fill out an online test.
Their local doctor? Because, like, their local doctor can specialize in, like, you know, making sure somebody's healthy and fit, you know, to be literally on fucking Mars. I'm pretty sure maybe like a NASA specialized doctor would probably be necessary for something like that, but nah, just go to your local doctor for that. Like, what the fuck? Like, are we oh my god, are we serious?
They had to upload to the Mars One website. The Skype interview came after, during which Mars One's chief medical officer quizzed you with questions from literature about Mars and the mission that Mars One had provided to all the applicants. It's some very serious selection process you got there. But for me personally...
Oh my god, Jesus Christ, what a fucking clusterfuck.
The absolute best part of Mars One is how financing was envisioned. So how was it envisioned? Well, of course, through a reality TV show. What? Yes, this was the actual...
Wait, Mars One reality TV series now taking it out. They actually wanted to make this a TV, like, they wanted to be like, hey, let's make reality TV out of the colonists that lived there. That would quickly become a live leak thing so quickly, like, it wouldn't even be funny. Like, within, like, a month of that, like, the first season, it would just be like... Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Man, people who just fall for the fucking scams, dude. I love, man. You gotta, like, every now and then appreciate a good snake oil salesman. Every now and then. Just, oh. Wow, dude. Wow, whoever was the mastermind, who was it again? I don't even know. Like... Man, the mastermind behind this Mars One shit, dude. Wow. You got Lockheed Martin? Oh. Man, he did the master snake oil, dude. Better than Trump, at least. That's for fucking sure. Better than Alex Jones. He's like, whoever this dude is, he's definitely a fucking good snake oil salesman. Holy shit. Scammed so many people out of this shit. Oh my god. Left and right.
The application process, and then the colonists' day-to-day lives on Mars. Cool, so besides the overwhelming stress and psychological pressure of living on Mars with 19 others in a confined space, people also have to be on camera constantly to shoot a reality TV show to gain funding on which their survival depends. No pressure. And I'm sure nothing could ever go wrong with that. You know, filming people under extreme psychological pressure with deteriorating mental health. It's day 80 of the Live on Mars reality show, brought to you by Mars One. Over here we have John writing a manifesto on the wall with appears to be his own feces, having done intense research into makeshift ballistic weapons. In the hallway, Julie is strangling Maria in a fit of primal animalistic rage. James is blackout drunk for the 75th consecutive day. Robert is hanging from the ceiling.
Oh shit! Oh my god. Damn, he actually called it. Oh my god. Damn.
Working hard to the company went bankrupt in 2019. Well, that's
Oh, it went bankrupt in 2019? Oh, I wonder who ran away with all the money. Dude, wow, what a master fucking con man, dude. What the fuck? Wow. Oh my god. Go fucking figure, dude. Oh, I guarantee you ran away with so much money out of all this. Oh my... Oh... Man, what a... I could appreciate the fucking, like, master snake oilery going on there, but, oh, man, what a venomous fucking viper, though. Holy shit. Oh.
Humanity's hopes of colonizing planets have been dashed by this company that planned on colonizing Mars through a reality TV show. God damn, this was stupid. Anyway, so this was my video about a Mars colony and why it's a
Mars colony
for the time being, at least. And I thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
At least, you know, yeah, it's for the time being. You know, like, at least he has, like, a little droplet of futurism to be like, hey, you know, I like the idea, but, yo, not now, chief. Because I'm pretty much the same way about it. Like, you know, I could see if humanity makes it and actually gets its shit together, which that's always going to be a coin flip at any given time. If you could do that, then maybe, hypothetically, they could probably, you know, be on Mars and, you know, be kind of vibing out there. But kind of got a long road to hoe with that one a little bit. But you know what, yeah, this is like the first Adam something video that I've actually liked in a while, so, hey. I mean, because honestly, like, for the, like, last 2 months, is basically, like, pretty much, like, 80% of his videos essentially been, like, the whole, like, Ukraine thing is, like, oh my god, I'm, like, by that point, I was getting sick of, like, that shit, so I was like, oh my god. But, that was a juicy vid. The self-destruct button because the fucking colonists are wanting to unionize that fucking... that one just had that one still was making me keep fucking get a chuckle. It's like, oh, I heard that my Mars colonists want to unionize. Activate the thermonuclear self-destruct button. It's like, oh damn. Oof. Oh my goodness. Good little video to put a little bow on, if anything. Actually, almost to like the exact 4-hour mark, so, just want to stick it out for like a little bit. Nah, fuck it. I want food and crashing, because kind of feeling the need for some Z's as well. So, I want my food. I want to go in my food coma and enjoy myself. That's what I want to do. I ain't gonna delay that any further. Now this Sukov is probably just chewing on a bone, because he has a bunch of bones outside. Or maybe it's a piece of wood, because for some reason he was... Why? Oh, what? Why did... God damn, this dog... Look at this little mess. I had these all nice and stacked, and you made a mess out of it. Jack off. What a fucking little prick. I had it all nice and stacked. Fucking little degenerate. Good shit right there. So, anyway, gotta go for the rest of this lovely little evening. So, peace out. And of course, I shall be back around for that next one. So,